Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. We are here today to conclude ASL Season 10. Here to watch the finale. It's going to be a best of 7, a ZVZ actually, a mirror matchup between Soma, up-and-coming Zerg star, and Queen, dominant Zerg, best in the world currently, I would say, and he is the reigning champion from the previous season. So real quick, the last video we had was third place match between Larva and Flash. Soma, on the left here, defeated Flash in a best of 7, and Queen defeated Larva in a best of 7 on the other side of the bracket. So they're meeting up. Keep the intro kind of short here. The matches are Plasma, Benzene, Polypoid, Shakura's Temple, Eclipse, Ringing Bloom, and Optimizer. So Plasma, as we saw from the Flash match, kind of plays pretty weird as a ZVZ. So you're kind of wanting to get fast mutas. Benzene is a 1v1, so you don't have to worry about being at a scouting differential. Polypoid, 4-player map, large. I mean, all these maps are actually kind of interesting. Ringing Bloom might be pretty interesting because you have a natural in your main base. It's like a branch off of your main base. It's well guarded, so I don't know. At any rate, these are the two best Zergs in the world, in my opinion. As I've stated many times, I'm really enamored with Soma's style. Not necessarily in this matchup, but some of his other matchups. He's just very interesting, and he's kind of like off meta a little bit. Queen is like the quintessential by the book, just dominant Zerg. Just control is so good. All his macros great. His decision making is superb. Very, very strong player. Both of them. Soma obviously coming from amateur status. Actually, almost 1 year ago, I think he made his debut in ASL, and he made the round of 24 that season, and then he made the round of 4. Finished top 4 last year, and now he's in the finals. So that's a pretty meteoric rise. Queen, meanwhile, has always been a very consistently high-ranked Zerg, and last season he won ASL for the first time. I think this is our first Zerg vs. Zerg ASL finals as well. That's pretty cool. Should be action-packed. A lot of control, a lot of like micro-intensive battles, so that should be interesting. I would like to see Soma win. I'm pulling for Soma. He's my guy. I like him a lot. That being said, I actually think Queen is going to win this. I just think he has what it takes to win a 7-game series. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to say it's going to be Queen 4-2, but I could see it going the distance to Game 7 as well. But I think Queen just edges him on Zerg vs. Zerg. I think he's a little better at the matchup. But anyways, let's get into this.
It is now time to start the ASL Season 10 Finals. We've got a Zerg vs. Zerg, and I actually think this will probably be maybe the best Zerg vs. Zerg we're ever going to see here in StarCraft.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine it going any other way. These two are perfectly suited for playing Zerg vs. Zerg as well. It's the best two Neos micros in the world, but players that are known to be quite decisive in their games as well. So they have those skills, those qualities that make a good Zerg vs. Zerg player.
Yeah, and I think this is a matchup that is really hard to call. This is Soma versus Queen, Queen also known as Zero. I think either of the two players you pick, it's a reasonable call, right? I think we're actually going to go to Game 7 here. Despite Zerg vs. Zerg statistically being the shortest matchup in all the StarCrafts, I think it will still be, unless it's surprisingly one-sided, it should be a reasonably long fight.
I actually think we could have a couple longer games. Yeah, because I think they're going to have certain builds mapped out really well on certain maps like Plasma. I can see going pretty long for ZVZ.
Absolutely, and I think if we have any situation where they're both playing reasonably safe, I can't imagine as we get into the later mid-game of ZVZ that they can kill each other off. So maybe we will actually...
That's an interesting point, one that I slightly disagree with. Typically in these longer series, best of 5 or best of 7, usually have a game from both players where they just try to do like a strategic build order victory type thing. So I kind of expect to see that. I expect probably, I mean, it depends on what the series score is going into the game. If it's like a fairly even series, or even if it's like to close out the series, who's ever up, I could see them doing kind of like a cheesy type build. I expect to see like maybe 1 or 2 of those.
Actually have the very rare super late game ZVZ where we might see Defilers, we might see Queens, we could see Bowers, I don't know.
I think there's a chance we could have one of those tonight.
Yeah.
That is a huge amount to have one. We'll see if we can make it there. But who would you say, Tasteless, are you favoring here between Queen and Soma?
I am slightly favoring Queen here.
Yeah.
And I think I'm chalking that up basically to the fact that Queen is much more experienced and seasoned than Soma is.
Yeah.
Soma is basically the new best StarCraft player.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
True,
earth-shattering if he actually wins.
A lot more experienced.
Soma's constantly been talking about how important this tournament is to him, and how much this means, and how hungry he is to actually win an ASL. And with Flash out of the way, this might be his only shot. Queen won the last season of ASL. Is oozing with confidence. Looks very relaxed, very comfortable when he's here in the studio, and his play shows it.
It certainly does. He is looking amazing.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, that's how the fans are feeling. 58% think Queen
Yeah.
is going to win.
Yeah, it seems about right.
I think it's a somewhat reasonable.
Yeah. A lot of times we have like fans voting 95% in one direction.
It's like it's not even 95% Flash.
Yeah.
It's like
it's just not
that's
gonna
pretty
be the way.
correct.
So, yeah, I'm curious here how the games are going to go. Again, it can be a little bit overwhelming if it's your first finals. So again, I'm really going to be watching to see how Soma's going to be playing. These are the
Interesting. Both Flash and Larva think it's going to be Soma. Larva says 4-0 Soma. I don't see that happening. Oh, and I don't know who that is. I can't tell by his picture. Is that Rush? That might be Rush. Anyways, I don't see a 4-0 happening on either side. I think that's kind of ridiculous prediction. But it's interesting that Flash says 4-3 Soma because Flash got beaten by Soma. And Larva got beaten by Queen, so maybe he's just a little bit salty, and that's like kind of a troll prediction. I don't know.
predictions from the rest of the ASL players here.
Now, this is really shocking. Look at this. Larva, Flash, and Snow all think that Soma's going to win. And then you have Blade thinking that too, but that's like, okay, whatever. But that's super interesting.
I'm especially intrigued by Larva saying 4-0 here for Soma, because you know that there's not that many Zerg players that you can train with right now for these guys that are going to be useful when you're playing against,
well, that's the most important one. Yeah.
Right, guys, we got a quick video, and then we're going to hop into the ASL finals.
Ooh, it's getting real, baby. Oh, I'm so excited for this.
ASL 시즌 10 타이밍스
Ooh, let's go.
퀸
Oh, are they doing player intros already? Ooh, wow, look at that. I don't think this is the regular studio, is it? Oh, he's got his winner's pin on his jacket, too. Strut, man. Look at that little fucking nerd.
소마
So damn good, though. Alright, Soma, time to show up, man. Let's go. I imagine they're gonna do an interview, probably.
All right, it's time to start
Soma
our finals.
looks a little bit
Master
nervous.
Mark is now going to come out here and interview our players. We're going to see what their
That's
thoughts
normal.
are. Before we hop into this match, again, this is the best of 7 TVC finals. The champion is the ASL Season 10. Best StarCraft player in the world.
That is correct. It's been a hard-fought season, no doubt about it. Some real crazy things happen, like Flash Rain, of course. That's right. Soma able to take him down, but let's do the interview, see what they think about it.
Let's start with you, Soma, says Caster Park. I talked to you in 2011. And a lot of people back then said you had a very promising future. It took you 10 years, but you're here now in the finals against the player Queen. And now the player you're facing has already played. He's dominated. He's won an ASL before. Soma, you were a semi-pro not long ago and an amateur before that. Now you're here in the finals. In this moment, how are you feeling? When I started really grinding StarCraft 1 again. Anyways, I'm really happy to be here in the finals, and I'm going to do my best tonight. So when we compare these two players' careers, Queen is the defending champion, but many people are expecting him to actually get 2 consecutive titles in a row. So I'm sure you have different thoughts. What kind of Zerg player do you think Queen is? Queen's very good. He's a good player, but personally, I think I'm a better Zerg.
Thinks he's
Did
better.
you have time to study on him? Did you have that much confidence looking at his play? And what perspective do you have on him? In terms of multitasking, micro, I would say my control's actually superior to his.
Interesting.
You heard that, Queen? He says his control is better than you. He says his game planning's better as well. What is your take on that?
It's hard to argue with Queen having the best control in the game for a Zerg standpoint. But Soma's confident, so it's good to hear.
Yeah, when you're young and you don't know anything, you'll be foolish to say something like that. I get it though, I was like that when I was young, but when I became a more experienced player, I definitely became more realistic. But when you actually get into a situation like this, you'll find the truth out. So many people are saying that Soma may end up rewriting history here and become the champion. What do you say to that? Look, I just think he's overconfident. He says he's going to win the championship. But we know he's an amateur player. He doesn't have enough experience. I don't think he's got the foundation to take me on. This is not the time in StarCraft history for an amateur.
What the caster does in these interviews typically is he tries to bait them into saying shit about each other, so it's kind of funny. But it seems like Queen is actually he's taking the bait. He's going in on Soma right now.
Sure to come on top. You heard what he said, Soma. He says you're just an amateur, that you're not experienced enough. How do you respond to that? I think a player who is caught up in the past glory is not going to play well now. He's saying you're already dead, Queen. He says he doesn't want you to enjoy your past glory, and it's irrelevant now. Well, I'm here now, right? I don't know how he could possibly say that now that I'm here the second time in a row. This is ridiculous. I'm here to show him that I can repeat what I've done already, and I'll win this tournament. So in your scenario, you think you're going to win easily, one-sidedly? Yeah. I think there's no real variables where it can't be a 4-0 or 4-1. That's the only way.
I don't know about that.
Anyways, the results, either way, the result's going to be win to me. Soma, over to you. He just said he's going to have a one-sided victory here. What do you think the results will be? I think Queen is... He had an easy bracket. All his opponents were easier than what I had to go through, so tonight he's going to feel that when he plays against me. How do you respond, Queen? He says that. I think I had a tough series against Lara in the semis. Yeah, but in the semifinals he beat Flash, Queen. Yeah, well, doesn't matter. I'll just show him what happens here at the ZVZ. Before we go to the games, anything you want to say? What are your thoughts? I'm not lying when I say I have this confidence. I'm feeling good. I know I'm going to win. You guys will see. And you, Queen, any final words? I'm going to play some great games.
I believe in you, Soma.
Okay, that's it. It is time
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's get these games going.
ZVZ finals, and again, I think this is going to be the best modern ZVZ to date.
Yeah, there you go. First CVZ finals.
It is true. Soma's bracket was harder. All right, the players are now going to shake hands and then go to the booth.
That's a good point. Soma's bracket was harder. He had to beat... He beat a Protoss. It had to have been Snow. Yeah, he beat Snow and then Flash. And Queen beat the other Protoss. Who was it? Best, maybe? Yeah, I think he beat Best and then Larva. So I think, yeah, Soma had a harder bracket.
We are here at the BSPN studio at Dongdaemun Station. We've never actually cast it out here. It's a great venue, by the way. It really is. Very nice. This is one of the non-AfreecaTV owned studios. We wanted to mix it up. Anyways, guys, our games are about to begin. Don't stop, because we can't stop. Take it to the top, take it to the top. Dance off, win your passport. Come and get it, you can all come and get it. We're number one. 김명훈, 이몽규 선수 잡아내면서 다시 한번 결승 진출이 이뤄냅니다. 자, 노현함과
이번이 두 번째 결승인데 저번 결승은 솔직히 좀 얼떨떨했어요. 이제는 한번 해보니까 익숙한 것 같아요.
하나요, 최대 박상현, 이용호 선수 잡아내면서 생애 최초의 결승 진출.
항상 목표는 우승이라고 말해왔는데 포함된 말을 하는 느낌이었는데 저는 항상 목표는 진지하게 우승이었거든요. 한 번도 장난으로 말한 적이 없고 표현 대로 이루어지고 있어서 기쁩니다.
ASL 두 번째 이제 결승 진출을 했고 또 이 연속 진출입니다. 저도 최초죠.
그렇죠.
오프라인 무대는 이제는 너무 편안하고 한 판 지더라도 좀 편안하더라고요. 오히려 다음 경기 집중할 수도 있고 영웅 형이 올라올 것 같았어요. 제가 봤을 때는 뭔가 영웅 형은 완전 무결하거든요. 플레이에서 그냥 완벽한 것 같아요. 저번 시즌은 도전이었다면은 이번 시즌은 그런 얘기들이 있더라고요. 4강에 저그 3명이 올라와가지고 저그들끼리 서열 정리를 한다 뭐 이런 얘기가 있는데 서열은 솔직히 저번 시즌부터 제가 1등으로 올라갔었고 이제는 증명하는 단계라고 생각을 해요.
ASL 시즌 10 이제 4강전 경기가 펼쳐지겠습니다. 오늘 선수들은 결승 걸린 매치를 치르게 됩니다.
이용호 선수를 생각을 하고 있었어요. 근데 그냥 4강을 하기 전에는 뭔가 용호 형을 상대로 자신감이 그렇게 많지 않았어요. 근데 게임을 한 판씩 이겨가면서 자신감을 갖게 되더라고요. 용호 형이 사실 넘을 수 없는 격이었는데 이기니까 뭔가를 하나를 넘는 것 같더라고요. 박상현 선수가 되게 무섭게 치고 올라오고 있는데 언젠가 한번 우승할 만한 선수다라고 생각은 했어요. 근데 제가 있는 이상 아직은 아닌 것 같고 나이도 어리고 개인하면 봐도 나도 이것보다 뭔가 더 잘할 수 있을 것 같다. 약간 이런 느낌을 받았기 때문에 4강전 이용호 선수랑 이기고 나서 이몽규 선수랑 붙어보고 싶다. 누가 윈지 가려보고 싶다. 선수가 결승전 올라와서 여기서 진짜 누가 윈지 한번 가렸으면 좋겠어요. 그 말을 생각을 해보면 이미 제가 이겨본 이몽규 선수랑 비슷하다, 제 아래다 이렇게밖에 평가를 내릴 수가 없어요. 저는 홍구랑 다르기 때문에 쉽게 무너지진 않을 거고요. 제가 꼭 이길 거예요.
최고의 선수가 아닙니다. 최고의 적으로 말이고요.
기대가 될 수밖에 없는 이런 결승이 아닐까 싶습니다.
그렇죠.
일단 유리한 상황, 빌드를 앞서는 상황에서는 무조건 이길 자신이 있고 불리한 상황에서도 충분히 역전을 할 수 있는 수가 다 보이기 때문에 저는 질 자신이 없어요. 제가 더 판짜기를 더 잘해올 것 같아요. 일단 뮤탈 컨트롤에 대한 자신감이 있고요. 초반에 저글링 컨트롤 싸움도 자신감이 있고 또 유리한 상황에서 쫓아나가는 거를 잘하는 것 같아요. 다전제일수록 더 자신 있거든요. 근데가 이재동 선수랑 하는 거 아니면은 웬만하면 다 자신 있고 박상현 선수 닉네임이 짭재동이에요. 진짜 이재동이 오지 않는 한 짭재동은 짭재동한테 안 될 것 같아요. 죽어도 안 될 것 같습니다. 지금은 진짜 저그 시대예요. 솔직하게 조경들이 다 잘하고 영훈이 형이 제일 잘해요. 제일 잘하는데 제가 넘을 수 있다고 생각해요. 거의 다 왔다고 생각하고 이번 결승전을 이김으로써 확실히 넘겠습니다. 근데 저그가 원래 운도 많이 따라줘야 되거든요. 근데 저번 시즌부터 이상하게 제가 운이 너무 좋아요. 제발 이 자리에 상대가 있으면 좋겠다 하면은 꼭 거기에 있고 이 빌드를 했으면 좋겠다 하면 또 그 빌드를 하고 진짜 너무 천운이 따르고 있어가지고 저도 사람이라 실수는 할 수 있어가지고 한 판은 질 것 같아서 4대1 정도 예상하고 있습니다. 4대0
4-1 and 4-0.
엄청 좋아해 주시고 저를 엄청 평가해 주시는데 그 평가들을 실망시키지 않도록 많이 준비해왔고요. 그런 능력들을 바탕으로 ASL에서 최고의 저거가 되도록 하겠습니다. 저그 유저들 중에 이재동 선수, 김정우 선수 등등 되게 잘하는 선수들이 많은데 그 선수들에 비교했을 때 제가 솔직히 한참 떨어졌어요. 근데 이번에 우승을 하고 나면은 비슷한 정도로 쳐줄 수 있지 않나 해가지고 그만큼 자신감도 있고 2회 연속 우승을 꼭 하고 싶다는 욕심도 크기 때문에 많은 응원 부탁드리고 많은 기대해 주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
ASL 시즌 10 결승
Wow, man.
Okay, our players have set up. They are in their booth, and we are just moments away from going into game 1 here. Now, this is a best of 7. I really do think it can go either way, and now you see it. Tastosis' glorious mustache. I love it. I absolutely love it. You look like a cop now. You look like a cop that would give me a ticket. I couldn't get out of it.
He had he was hosting a viewer game. He was commentary on a viewer game, and he said whoever won gets to pick a reward. So the guy that wanted Artosis to grow a mustache for a month. It's kind of funny.
You look like a guy who owns a Cracker Barrel. Maybe a couple successful Cracker Barrels.
Maybe.
I
A
take
Cracker
it.
Barrel.
I like it. I approve. So we're here at the
Funny.
ASL Season 10 Finals. This is our first Zerg versus Zerg. Queen, I think, is slightly favored here, and if he wins, he is going to really seize his grip of power as the best StarCraft player. He would have won all the ASLs that we've had here, all 2 of them. In 20, I know as I say it, I'm like, oh, it's just 2. But he has won everything here for 2020.
Yeah,
Complete domination. We had Flash playing Terran in Season 1. He played random in Season 2 and ended up getting fleshed out by Soma here. But yeah, Queen could really make history. But if he loses and Soma dominates, that's also very exciting. Soma is, like we were saying earlier, the best new player here in the ASL. And it's good to have new blood. This game is 23 years old now. And it is easily the most competitive esport that there is. It's almost impossible for new people to break through.
Yeah, okay, so Soma 3-0'd Snow, beat Flash 2-4 against his random, and Queen 3-0'd Best, and then 4-1 Larva, which was pretty dominant ZVZ, although I think Larva is not at the same level as Soma, so I think today should be a closer contest. He 4-1 Larva, I don't understand how people are thinking he's going to 4-0 Soma. That seems kind of ridiculous to me.
It is almost impossible. It is insane because, as Caster Park said, he interviewed Soma in 2011, and everyone was already talking about him having a bright future. 9 years later, here he is. This is only his 3rd ASL, his 3rd pro tournament. He won the big amateur tournament, ACS, got into ASL. He made top 4 last season. Here he is in the finals. So, I mean, yeah, it's incredibly hard for new blood to break in. It's just that the top players are so unfathomably good at this point. But,
and Soma's a real inspiration for all these new players who are beginning to pick up StarCraft that have dreams of competing at the highest levels. And let's see if he can do it. You know, he's a much more emotional player than Queen. Queen is very comfortable being up here and really dealing with the pressure of this. But Soma's looking really scary. Soma really in his games looks almost unstoppable. He's basically beaten everybody except Queen now.
And you know what? He really has the confidence too. You know, he was saying that he thinks that when he feels like this, he never loses.
Yeah, that is that's something. And now we're going to go into the stats here, and you can see that Soma is such a dominant player in ZVZ, and the fact that he's just he's got the control, and we're going to unpack ZVZ as a matchup more as we get to it here, but he has the ability to control mutas, I think, basically as well as Queen. And so much of ZVZ is about mutaless control.
I very much do agree with you. It's really those two players that are setting the trends as far as what you can do with mutaless. Because they're the two players that, when I watch them play as ZVT, I lose faith in the fact that I'm going to be able to play this game forever. Because they're so brutal with them. And that is, as you mentioned, the most important thing that there is for ZVZ, really, right? It's like, obviously, the Zerglings have a lot to do with it, but you have to be able to kill the Scourge, you have to beat your opponent with mutas. And I think that's going to make a really interesting match, because if anyone gets an edge, they can definitely kill. But what if they're even? What does that even look like?
Well, that's why I was bringing up earlier that we might end up with 1 or 2 late-game ZVZs here. We might end up with Hive Tech or end up with Queens and a Snare being tech too.
Possible,
totally possible.
Yeah. Well, I am hoping to see it, that's for sure. We see some different win rates amongst these two. I wouldn't put too much stock into these small set of stats, especially considering some of the wins for Soma were against Flashes. We're
going to need a few more ASL years here for these stats to have that much meaning. But again, if Queen wins here, he really does make history, winning 2 ASLs in a row, and he might win the 3rd ASL next year.
Yeah, that is definitely a possibility. I mean, he is on the short list of players that truly can do it. And in fact, these two are they're kind of messing up the entire world of StarCraft 1 right now, because their Zerg vs Protoss is so unbelievably strong, both of them.
Oh yeah, whenever I watch a Protoss player play against these two players specifically, I feel like Protoss can't beat Zerg. But PvZ is a funny matchup where sometimes it looks like one race can't beat the other. Like when we started seeing Bisu really dominate with his Corsairs, or some of the games that Rain would play, where they make it look so easy. Yeah, this is going to be a fantastic finals. Guys, do tell your friends to tune in and join us. This is the last major StarCraft 1 event of the year here.
That's right.
Before we go into the off-season, so.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we finally have a ZVC finals. I know sometimes fans they want to not have a mirror matchup. I understand that, but I actually sometimes find the mirror matchups to be the most interesting, to see two players that start out with exactly the same parameters.
Yeah, there's definitely something there for sure. And I think we're very lucky to have these two, because if the bracket went a different way, we could have something like a Larva or a Sulky.
At
here,
least
while
it's
they are
not a
amazing
TVT
Zergs.
finals.
Those are macro Zergs, like strategic Zergs.
We would
and
never
those are the type of players that get eaten alive by these players.
be here for
these are mechanical Zergs
a couple
easy for a long
days.
series, because otherwise you get gobbled up. Like, there's just no way that someone that's just playing strategical is going to beat one of these guys in the best of 7.
Exactly. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. We're just going to play these songs for each player. By the way, map 1, I believe it was Plasma.
Yes.
So we're going to have the island map to start here.
And I think that's actually, in a lot of ways, the most interesting map, because Zerglings don't come into play. That makes it very, very exciting.
Now, I do want to point out that the Zerg vs Zergs that we've had on Plasma, we're all with one player, actually it was actually Flash every time, randoming into Zerg.
Yes.
That should not be representative of what ZVZ is going to look like here tonight. Random, a player who rolls random against Zerg, against
he's
Zerg player, has a
10-2
very
this
disadvantage in
season.
that matchup. And Flash was
Only
very,
2 games
frankly,
he lost
why
was
Flash
to
got so well.
Flash.
Some very critical games where he actually managed to crush. But if you both know each other as Zerg, and as you were saying, Artosis, you
One
can't
of
go
which
into lanes here.
Flash at Terran.
Neutral eggs block off parts of the map. Zerglings can't break through that. We should go into a pretty intense tech war here, where there's going to be a lot of tactics with the Mutalisks coming in at various angles trying to harass.
We should have very fast layers, pure Mutalisk, well, obviously because he's Scourge and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's where it's going to get very interesting. Like, how are you going to deal with this? Are we going to see third bases being taken? I actually think yes. I think we're going to see these guys take thirds, which is kind of insane to even say.
This might be the longest game out of all the games we have here tonight.
Also 10-2.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's exciting stuff, man. By the way, they're both 10-2, it looks like.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, with the losses, both of Soma's losses were against Flash, and then for Queen, one loss was against Larva, and the other one was against JYJ with that killer mech build that he did on Optimizer.
Yeah, it looks like it's very hard to stop.
Yeah, for sure it is. I guarantee that. So these two, I mean, 10-2 is no laughing matter. Of course, they both got seeded into the round of 16 because they were both top 4 last season.
That's right, and they'll be seeded again in the next season of ASL, of course. And so now it is time to start the ASL Finals. Game 1 on Plasma, Soma versus Queen. Let's go.
ASL 시즌 10 게임 준비 완료.
Here we go, baby. Waiting all season.
플라즈마에서 게임을 시작합니다.
I hope nobody gets a middle base, because that's a disadvantage. Oh, wow. Top and bottom. Okay, cool.
Okay. Game 1 has started up here.
Yeah,
We've got...
Alright, so Soma's at the bottom and Queen is at the top. And I think that's actually a positional advantage for Queen. I think you don't want to be middle base because that gets scouted first and it's a short rush distance. So if it's between the top base and the bottom base, you want the top base. One, because your gas is towards the top of your base. And down here, it's towards the top of your base, but that's the close side for the other opponent. So gas is closest to your opponent, whereas if you're top, it's further. Also, your expansion is to the top right, away from your opponent, if you're at the top. If you're at the bottom, your expansion is top left of your base, which is closer to your opponent.
Soma in the bottom left and Queen in the upper left. The third spawn is actually in the center right.
Yes, and I'm really glad that they're actually in these spawns, so we're not going to see any sort of positional advantage. Yeah, that
Well, there's
actually
a little
makes this
positional
even
advantage
better on this map. So, first off, you have to get a quick layer, right? Overpool gas seems to be what
what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
But if you know your opponent's going to overpull gas, I guess you could probably go like 12 pull gas or something, right? Like just get it slightly later to have slightly better drones. But this really should be about rushing into those mutas, because if your opponent tries something like hatchery first, your mutas will be there before his pop.
Right.
And yeah, that's the end of the story. You kill drones.
So real quickly here to unpack the map.
Looks like an overpull for both of them.
Ground games in most matchups on this map, because there are destructible eggs that you can break through with lurkers, for instance, or Archons, whatever, siege tanks with splash damage. But in ZVZ, because you can't tech to lurkers because you lose to Mutalisks outright, you never get to break those eggs down, because the only ground attacking units that are viable are Zerglings, which will just never get through the eggs. You could go into Masslings with speed
Queen's
and try to break the eggs down. The mutas would get there and kill all your drones before they even got close. And so, on this map, it becomes what we call a pure island map. There were some maps that were like this in the very early days of StarCraft.
I think this build order slightly favors Soma.
Others that are out there where you...
I think he'll get his stuff out just a tiny bit faster. It shouldn't be appreciable.
You basically had no easy way of getting your... Well, there was really realistically no way to get to your opponent unless you had flying units that could attack or you could drop there. But people got rid of those maps because in matchups like ZVP, Protoss was too strong. They just get Corsairs. Zerg couldn't get an additional base. In this case, it's especially unique because this is a pure island map where you have extra bases on your island. And I don't know what... I mean, I know there'll be Mutalisks at play here, but I don't know exactly what this is going to look like in mid-game and late game.
So, well, they're both going for the pretty quick layers, of course. Also, don't forget, like, Pure Island, I guess, is probably not what we should call it. It's like, we definitely won't see ground units fighting each other at all on this map, but we definitely can see other bases taken. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they take thirds in the middle of the map.
That's a good point. You can ghost drones through the eggs and expand there. But essentially, yeah, ground fights, unless they both expand towards the center and therefore can reach each other, it won't be a factor. So I'm really curious to see how this game unpacks itself.
So I do want to also mention, you know, I mentioned at the beginning I thought it would overpull gas is probably about right, but because of that, if you know your opponent's going to overpull gas, you can go like a 12 pull gas. So we actually saw Soma go overpull gas and Queen go 11 pull gas. So
yeah,
you see he's getting like the couple drones a little bit earlier right there. But his mutas will be popping out as the other mutas get there. So it all kind of works out. Now, Soma, the first to start the Spire, of course, with the slightly quicker layer build. Queen should be starting his momentarily. And there it goes.
Yeah, here comes that Spire now.
Yeah, and
you should have like a...
The razor-thin difference, right? It's like, how many seconds
advantage.
Was it like 8 seconds, 9 seconds? Literally,
5
as
to
the
10.
mutas fly across the map, if he made a beeline to Queen's base, his mutas are going to be popping out as he gets it.
Correct.
So he'll be completely fine there. You can see the extractors are being made so that they'll sync up.
Timing advantage is negated by the travel distance.
If you're in a situation where, at least for now, ground attacking units aren't really a factor, it's all about getting Mutalisks out as quickly as possible, which means gas is the highest priority resource.
To have your second base a little bit quicker than that if you're Soma.
Protoss need to get Templars out.
You're going to be at a larva deficit of, I think, 1 larva.
Else. This is even more pronounced. Gas is everything. We will not see mineral expansions taken this game.
That is very
They
true.
are dud bases.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, the only extra drone mining that we're going to see from minerals here is probably going to be to make other hatcheries to get other gases, assuming you have enough to keep up with the Mutalisk count. Couple other factors here. In a Mutalisk versus Mutalisk fight,
Mutas should be showing up.
The upgrade is stronger than the attack upgrade because Mutalisks have glaives that bounce
about
as they
5
hit.
minutes.
So
They should
hitting
be popping
targets.
for
so,
Soma.
In a Mutalisk versus Mutalisk fight, the armor is more important because it negates more of the damage from the glaives.
Now they need to hide their overlords.
Don't see attack upgrades very rarely. We do actually have the attack upgrade done because it's slightly cheaper. I don't believe it's faster at all. I think it takes the same amount of time.
It takes the same amount of time.
Okay, good to know. But occasionally it's a little bit cheaper, and there's certain window timing attacks you can do to try to come in there and really hurt him. Anyways, in this game we have the Scourge set up to try to intercept mutas while Queen is continuing to just amass his muta force, but it does seem like Soma has a slight initiative here.
Yeah, he did get him out just slightly quicker, but that's fine. Queen's popping out on time as well. Both sides pulling their overlords back. wanting to, you know, make sure that they don't just lose any for free here. Soma actually, oh, he's going for an attack, man. He has done a little supply trick here, right?
Oh.
36 of 34.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
not because he lost
He made
Overlord.
buildings.
I don't believe. I think
No, he
it's
did
more
not
like,
lose an Overlord. No.
yeah. So what he did here
He
was
got one extra muta.
yeah. Basically, like you make a couple extra buildings with drones and then cancel. So he actually has slightly more than Queen should be ready for.
That's actually a very
Okay, here we
brilliant
go. Now
idea.
the Scourge will force the Mutalisks of Queen to retreat here. That will allow Soma to have quicker moving
Oh
shots
my god,
here as he
Queen's
attacks
control
in.
is so
Did
good.
he actually do enough damage here? It looks like it's 5 versus 6, but now the 6 Mutalisk here comes out now for
Now the defender's
for Queen.
advantage kicks in.
Yeah, and now
Whoa.
Soma is looking dead. That's
Oh my
that
god,
should be
he
it,
really
actually.
just-
That was a very clever
Wait, he lost all but
strategy that he
2?
brought here, getting a little bit extra.
Yeah.
But Queen just kind of smashes it.
Queen's control there, when he was fighting the mutas and the Scourge, he killed like every Scourge and still fought the mutas and won. That's fucking insane, dude.
And now Queen can...
Oh, that's actually a really good idea. You see what he did here? He kept his mutas to the left towards his base, forcing... Because these guys can never fight them, right? So if he wants to keep these alive, he has to fly down to the right, away from his base. So what he's doing is just buying time to where he can get to his base and delay these guys from returning to the fight.
basically zone the
Very
mutas of
smart.
Soma away,
Yeah,
which means
exactly.
they can take a better
Zone them
fight here.
away.
Now it's going to be 6 with 2 Scourge, 6 mutas with 2 Scourge coming in here and doing damage. Soma has to back off
Oh,
and
no.
regroup, but this is a great opportunity here to come in here and pick off a few drones. And again, you don't get very many workers in this matchup, so every drone you lose is huge.
So Queen should have
you can see-
reinforcing
look,
mutas
Soma
coming.
does have a decent amount of mutas out now, and he
Yep,
is
here
trying
they are.
to fight. But it looks like his mutas are a little bit low right there. More mutas coming down for Queen. Kind of a close battle,
That's
but overall,
close.
this is still, even though like Queen's going to lose some of these here, he traded the first trade very well, and then also killed like 4 drones. So
Yeah.
Okay,
this is
Soma
still
held that
looking
pretty
Queen
well.
favored.
Yeah, the drone kills were certainly the most important
Yeah,
part
those
there.
drones were
Funny to
the
see
big
the really
factor.
clever timed attack from Soma, just out-controlled there by Queen.
Yeah,
Queen
yeah.
did have just a little bit of a better handle on that situation overall.
It was, yeah, it was like a really kind
You're
of.
going to make a third
you
base?
start a creep colony or an evolution chamber, whichever
You
one.
hiding a
Because
base?
they're the cheapest Zerg buildings. You make your extra units, then you cancel.
It's floating
Right.
300
And I think he did
minerals.
that
He's going to make a
technically in
hatchery.
groups of,
I think
like
he might
4
have made like
Scourge.
2 creep
Something
colonies
like
or
that.
2 evos or something,
Yeah,
and
for
then
sure.
cancels.
Yeah.
Soma finds this,
so,
can
like, he
be
had a
easily
little bit more than
punished.
You'd
Well,
expect,
not easily, but it can be
Queen's able to
punished.
reinforce more easily.
Exactly, right?
Is a
You're right on
simple
top of his
answer.
hatches. So it's like you look at the fly time and then the build time of everything. It's like, well, your Scourge still have to connect perfectly for you to win with this.
Yeah. Now I am wondering if either side is getting the armor upgrade, because that's a very straightforward way to lose is if they have armor and you don't.
Very true.
And I would guess it would be Queen that would have it before Soma, because Soma seemed to come in here with the intentions
Yes.
of trying to end the game very quickly instead of trying to win in some way where he just teched up better.
Yeah, I really do wonder about that. I would love to be able to look at the replay, because I bet you that if Queen had started armor before that attack came, he would have died. I bet you
That's
that's
a
an
good
attack
point.
that will
Yeah.
kill someone who starts armor, because then you actually have significantly more than them because they've spent 100
That's true.
gas. So I wouldn't be surprised if it all started afterwards.
By the way, you know what I think he actually did with the supply trick? He got 2 extra pairs of Scourge. That's what that was for, not an extra muta.
Yeah.
More Scourge coming in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see, because if, and there it is
I
again,
did it again.
that trick where he makes 1 and then he squeezes out an extra pair.
You do lose some minerals doing that. But yeah, this is. I
Yeah,
think
you
what
lose-
this is basically.
It was what, 1/4 of 75, so like 17, 18 minerals.
Telling us is he's not getting armor upgrades. He's not playing on a third base. He's not
19
playing on
minerals.
anything. He's going for another kill move.
And if this
He's
doesn't
playing
work,
very aggressively.
assuming armor is inbound, this is going to be really tough.
Oh man, look at this Micro Queen already.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of stopping the Scourge here. Nice connections
Micro
there.
does look
but
a
I
little
don't-
bit better.
He also spots
It's 8
the
to
hidden
11.
base.
Oh, uh-oh.
Now there's a funny situation here, because does Queen counterattack? No, Because Soma's basically got the positional advantage here, but I think Queen
Oh,
can
no.
box these mutas into a corner, and it's almost
Yeah.
impossible to retrieve
Oh
here.
no, he didn't
So Soma has
pull
to make
away.
this work because he can't run.
Well, he has so much more. Queen
I think
does.
Soma
So
got hit by a
is
scourge.
Trying to out micro him here. It's not going to happen though. This
Oh
is not
my
gonna work
God,
out.
holy
Queen is definitely
crap.
taking game number 1.
Yeah, this is just
Yeah,
too many
this is
mutas.
over.
There's basically no way to recover now. The math.
I don't know what happened there. Soma stopped moving his Mutalisk for a second. I don't know if he was macroing real quick or something, but I'm pretty sure he took some Scourge hits in that last engagement, which completely swung that.
Just isn't there for Soma, especially with the third base mining gas here as
Yeah,
well.
look at the
Queen can
supply
now come here
differential.
and completely smother Soma.
Soma has like
Basically
no
taking the win here for game
mutas.
one.
It's basically
Yeah,
it's
as
just
Mutas come
over.
down, I think he'll just GG.
GG.
That's
Yep.
it. And very good defense there from Queen, playing about as standard as you can imagine. On
Queen
the map.
really played
Soma
that
coming with
super
some
well
kind
at the
of tech
beginning.
out,
That was
cool,
impressive.
aggressive play. It just doesn't work out against Queen.
Yeah, it seems like the timing attack is pretty original, and we don't really get to see that ever tested out, ever. So I think the idea is really there, but then when you see it executed, maybe that works better if one player spawns in the middle.
Yeah,
if you're in
for sure it would,
spawns
yeah.
like that, yeah, I think,
Absolutely.
that's quite a long distance to travel. It seems like Queen just reinforces. Queen playing a very textbook Island Zerg game. Soma really innovating, but I think those spawns are too far apart for that to work.
Yeah, that's
And I
actually a
think
good
control
point.
better as well.
Sure. And let's not forget that he did a slightly higher econ opener with the 11
I think-
pool gas.
Right,
Pool gas.
an 11 pool or a
No, he
12
didn't
pool.
start the armor upgrades. I think
Is safe given that the fact that the opponent spawned top and bottom, right? If one of them spawns middle, then it makes less sense to do that.
the answer was no before the first attack. I think that all of that put together made the build of Soma just not quite
Very well deduced.
And now we have Queen taking the lead, but I do want to point out that map is a one of a kind.
Yeah.
That map
None of our other maps are
cannot
gonna look like that.
will not ever be representative in any best of 7 of what the rest of the games could and should look like. So again, I think
Queen's
that Soma still has a
control
very good
looked a
chance.
touch better
Step
there.
two we're going to go on is we're going to go to his Benzene. This is another one of the very large maps.
Yep. Something I want to mention.
Maybe
is
Soma's
that
just
I really
nervous,
the way that
though.
Play that map, even though I think that the way that Queen played it was superior. I think preparation-wise, what Soma did was superior. What he did there, you don't really have to practice. You just have to map out when and what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's it. Okay. And that map is so different that deserves the least practice time because the skills you use there aren't going to really transfer as much.
That's right.
So I think that as far as preparation goes, even though Queen leads 1-0, in my mind, Soma leads 1-0.
Okay, guys, game 2 on Benzene. Let's do this.
ASL 시즌 10 게임 준비 완료. 벤젠에서 게임을 시작합니다.
One v one map.
So Queen spawns in the upper right and Soma here in the bottom left.
Yeah, Benzene. This is a slightly longer rush distance.
Yeah, you'd expect.
Considerably longer rush
yeah.
distance, really, in ZVZ.
Yeah, well, it's long enough.
Well,
that
now it's not an island map.
you kind of
Zerglings
discount
come into
9
play,
pool.
so
In fact, remember that's how Soma actually beat Flash on this map.
Yeah.
Was he 9 pooled against Flash, who was going double hatchery before pool because
I think an overpool
Flash
or a
correctly
12 pool is
analyzed
fine
that
here.
9 pool is actually not a good
It's an obsolete
build,
build
on the map.
Yeah,
because it just doesn't hit quickly enough. Like you can go hatchery first into pool, and you'll easily block the 9 pool here.
This is one of the funny things about build orders is occasionally there's a strategy that is so not logical to use on the map that because all the good players discounted, it becomes good again.
Yes.
you could do hatch first as well, I guess, but that's a little
why it was
riskier.
Very, very risky. Now, Queen is going 9 pool.
Wow, 9
So-
pool, interesting.
There you have it.
So this really is the
He may
meta
want
here.
to really try to smash. Like he might be thinking that Soma will go like 12 hatch, 12 pool.
Yeah.
Right, where you
Yeah,
remake the
that's a
drone
reasonable-
instead of 12-11. So something like that, I could see this being strong against. Right.
By the way,
Yeah.
that little trick we saw there, that's called the extractor trick.
If you
That's
wanted
where
to be greedy, you
cancel,
could do
make an
12
extractor
hatch,
here,
12 pool.
And then you make one extra drone and then cancel that. And by the way, Soma may have fallen into the theory trap here of going for hatchery first.
Yeah,
He might just die.
I was thinking hatch
And
on
it's
12.
funny because what we were talking
Thought
about
one
at
of
the
them
start
would
this
do
game
it.
led exactly into what we're going to see here now.
Oh, but he is going 11 pool instead of a 12 pool, right?
Yeah, that's a
which
little bit better.
No one really goes 12 hatch, 12 pool anyways anymore, but from my understanding, he should still be able to hold on.
No, I don't think so. The pool's just now going to start here for Soma.
I think Soma did a
I think he'll actually.
12,
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not
12,
too
11,
clear
10,
on the,
right?
the distance is to travel here.
He make a sunken colony?
But this is going to be rough. Now, again, Benzene has the longest spawns, which is one of the reasons why we do see players like to go hatch first here. So Queen is going to expand and have a pretty strong push here.
Oh, no, he
Let's
just
see
went
the
12,
possible
11, 10.
responses that Soma can have. I mean, will Soma be forced to cancel? Will Soma try to send his
Is he
lings and
running
his
those
drones
right
down
under the
here?
Overlord?
Well,
What is he doing?
When you're playing in this type of situation, you need to bring drones with your lings. You cannot cancel your natural because then you're behind in every way, I would say, right?
Another note is that, you know,
I think Soma will be okay if he drone drills.
There is a sunken colony that's going to be set up here. You always want to put it there because the drones interfere with the Zerglings trying to come down and actually take the fight. The hatchery is not going to be canceled unless he does it right now. No?
Yeah. No, I think you really can't even do that. Now, don't forget,
You cannot
right,
cancel it. You'll just be
a little bit later than they normally would up a 9-full, and also each
such a
reinforcing
disadvantage.
lane gets here a little bit later.
He needs
as
to
well,
bring
so
more
that's very
drones
true.
in
Next
this.
two are coming.
Oh
yeah,
my
Blue
God.
loses a couple of drones already. Good micro from Queen.
And he might even lose the hatchery here if he's not
Yeah,
careful.
he needed
The
to bring
are
more
gonna come in
drones
now
from
and
the
try to take
start.
the fight. The Lings actually hatch here for Soma, shooing
Okay,
away
that was
the Lings
decent.
of Queen.
Good drill.
And
Lost
that
too many
hatchery is
drones,
at
though.
20% health. The layer's already inbound now for Queen.
Am I mistaken?
He did
in
force
saying
a
he
sunken
got,
colony
yeah.
here
He
as
doesn't
well.
have-
This
He
is
got
actually
like 3
a big,
drones and forced a sunk.
that is a big win there for Queen.
Yeah, it
Huh.
is. It is.
Keep in mind, it's very hard to ever squeeze out extra drones, so every drone kill is extremely devastating. And although Soma's opening was quite greedy, if you go big picture here, Queen right now is in just an overall better economic position. The greed was punished, and Soma is now far, far behind. It's going to be up to Queen to defend here, but if he does, Queen is going to take a pretty substantial tech lead.
I mean, it feels good for Queen right now. He has that sunken up as well. He can just kind of keep his lings back and block lings from coming in. Now, as far as Soma goes, I think he needs to go into Evolution Chamber, doesn't he?
He may have to, but that would cost extra drones, of course.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
The Spire starting here for Queen. Has the layer finished now for Soma? I'm not
It's going to
totally
be
sure.
finishing pretty soon.
Okay, that's a pretty big distance.
but it really is. And, I mean, he's behind on gas mind as well. So either you're going to take, like, a series of really gigantic risks, or you're going to throw down an Evolution Chamber relatively soon.
Exactly. So the Spire
is that
is ready
drone
to
doing?
go. He's going to tuck it back there. That's actually a great location to put
A little
your
bit
Spire
late,
because
wasn't
it's
it?
hard for Zerglings to surround it. But
Half done with the
Queen's
Spire
was
already.
already more than halfway done
Yeah.
when Soma's Spire started.
Might need it. He's
So,
going to need an Evo, right?
This is a real
I don't see how he
problem.
can't.
And you know, one of the features of Zerg versus Zerg is there are
Let's
not
see how
that
Soma
many
could
ways
live if he doesn't get
to
an Evo right
fancily
now.
tech out of stuff. You know, it's
Tech out of things in ZVZ, yeah, no, not going to happen.
it just isn't there. There's no like, I mean, for the uninitiated, because, and it's actually a fair
Needs to
question. if you don't know
counterattack him
StarCraft
with
that well.
lings
You
or
think,
something.
Why don't you see Hydras or you know what? Believe
Just
it or
too
not,
far behind.
really, you can only go Mutalisks. They're just too powerful. So there's not a tech alternative in ZVZ, and so after the defenses have been
gas
set
is really
up, it
late.
becomes very, very clear that Mutalisks and getting a lot of them are really the only option, unless we go into super late game where
He
Plague
needs to
can
throw
become
down
a
an
thing,
Evo.
where Ensnare can become strong. Devours, I'm not really sure how that works.
Gonna put
in
him
ZVZ,
behind on
we have
Econ, but
occasionally
I
had a
don't-
Devourer made. So there's
Just
something
going to
there.
die, I think.
Now, the Mutas are coming across the map. If my math serves me correctly, from where I understand the game, these Mutalisks from Queen are going to kill a lot of drones before the
Yes.
Mutas from Soma will hatch.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain on that now. I guess
Not just
Soma
that.
doesn't have the exact timing, so he's taking a big risk by not having those spores that we were talking
but
about.
I don't
Yeah.
think
He
you
might
even,
just GG here, right? He's going to lose every drone.
Well, not just that. The Mutas, when they do hatch, are going to hatch
Oh my
separated
God.
from each other. So
Didn't even bother
that
to
means
pull
that he
the
can actually
drones.
take a fight that way too. Scourge do connect on one
Well, he
target.
got one
Yeah, that was
Muta.
good. That was good.
We don't have Mutas out yet. Now, Mutalisks can shoot down Scourge if they're controlled perfectly. Although that's very hard to do. Okay, but not for Queen.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep,
Kills him.
he's killed him, and now he gets the initiative. That Scourge connects onto Soma's Mutalisks. And if Soma doesn't win this fight, he loses
Scourge
this
did
game.
not connect,
Yeah,
but
he is
okay.
already dead, man. There's too
Yeah.
many Mutas
Yeah,
here
it's
for
game
Queen.
over.
Just smashing through.
Wow, dude.
And this is a brutal series because it looks like already, 2-0.
Whoa!
GG.
Backslash GG.
Queen's halfway to winning this.
Yeah, this is crazy.
That's kind of crazy to think
He just
about.
got
It's already
smashed
up
2-0.
2-0. All right, well.
Not looking good
here
for
we are,
Soma.
the defending champion. looking like he's on the road to another one.
Yeah, I mean, we're not done yet, but it's starting to look like it, you know? Let's see how Soma does. I do think that both of these games appear to have come down to planning here. Queen just coming in here with superior strategies, superior builds.
Ooh. Yeah, well, you know, I think he caught Soma a little bit off guard with that 9 pull. Soma's defense was not perfectly sunken in the main, plus losing 3 drones. That's a bit steep. That's a bit steep. Benzene on all maps, like, come on.
Yeah, again, each of the maps requires different types of openings and different ways you can exploit more common openings, but Queen coming in there, a lot of that victory was not really the Mutalisks at the end, it was the Lings forcing a lot of moves here from Soma. Soma lost, how many drones did he lose? 3 drones? 3 drones? Yeah, and then forced a sunken colony to make that was never used.
That's the problem, because you lose the drones and you're behind on econ, so you like can't afford to lose any more drones. But you need to actually make an Evo and then probably 2 spores, and then that's 3 more drones that you don't have. So, I mean, I get why he didn't make them, but at the same time, I think you just have to because you're going to die otherwise. At least if you make the spores, you'll be behind on econ severely, but at least you're not dead. Like, you still have some sort of chance, right?
Yeah, that's huge.
Which cost 3.5 drones plus a drone.
Which then allowed the Mutalisk lead to come in here to close it out. So again, so far, like in Game 2, that was all planning and a bit of execution, of course. It always is in ZDZ. We're going to go to a short break. We come back, Game 3 in the ASL finals of Soma versus Queen. Welcome back to the ASL. Right now, Queen has a 2-0 lead over Soma. I hope Soma can come back. He might not, though. I don't know. Queen seems to have superior planning overall there for Game 2. Game 1, Soma had a very cool timing attack, and I think that's one of the rare moments where we get to see a strategy for the very first time like that, where we've never really been able to test that. I don't know how often people are ever grinding games against each other just to improve on Plasma. It seems like that's a map you were only prepping for in a tournament, and he basically had this idea of trying to get to do the supply trick where you make creep colonies and then squeeze out extra Scourge or Mutalisk, then cancel the creep colonies, go back to mining, which allows you to kind of cheat out a few extra units. He tried to do a timing attack on Plasma. It did not work, though. Queen basically defended. We mentioned earlier that maybe if one player spawns in the middle, that's having a much closer...
Or maybe also if you start Carapace, right?
Yeah, if you got Carapace immediately on the go, which would make sense on that map. But it seems like that's a timing attack that would be engineered to just penetrate any defense the other side has. But it did not work. Now, we still could have many more games to come here, but it is interesting to see that people are coming into these maps with very specific ideas and strategies. And some of them are working out perfectly, like Queen strat in Game 2, and some of them are falling flat on their face, like Soma's in Game 1.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. What's the next map that we're
I actually forgot.
I really want to see Rain and Bloom between these two.
Yeah, that would be
Bloom would be very, very interesting. A lot of the other maps are much more vanilla, so it would be kind of more standard games that we see out of those. We'll see in just a second, though, which map it's going to be.
Now, it's very important that Soma wins this, because it's almost statistically impossible to come back 4-0 after being down 0-3. That's extremely rare.
That's pretty tough. If he does that, he's a legend.
Okay, it's going to be Polypoid.
Yeah, it looks like, okay, Rain and Bloom's set 6, so we have to go pretty far. 6 and 7 are crazy maps, but the next 3 are pretty standard.
Yeah, I think Soma can win on one of these maps.
Sure.
Hopefully
Of course he can.
Yeah.
He's kind of gotten the raw end of the deal in both games so far.
All right, guys, Game 3's up. Soma vs. Queen continues on.
ASL 시즌 10 게임 준비 완료.
All right, the road to a comeback starts now, if he can manage it. Pulling for him.
폴리포이드에서 게임을 시작합니다.
I'd like to see this go the distance, or at least Game 6 or something.
So, in the bottom right, we have Soma. Really needs this win. Top right, we have Queen. Soma is sending his Overlord in the right direction. Queen is not, so that's a little bit of an edge there.
It's a factor that comes into play here on 4-player maps. Where do you send the Overlord? We were joking about this actually on the break, but that's one of the funny things that first happened in Zerg versus Zerg was, or actually I guess Zerg versus anything, was players realizing that they can just use the farm, which is the Overlord, to go scout somewhere. Which made ZV's...
Calm down there, Warcraft 2.
That's you know my history now. But it caused a lot of dilemmas for Zerg players in the early days of StarCraft, because you could both float Overlords in each other's base, and then how do you hide things? I mean, think of like, you know, any other matchup, like TVP, for instance. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can disguise what you're doing on both sides. But to come in with this, it was very tricky for Zerg players to figure it out. But, you know, as we've had 23 years of StarCraft 1, people have really started to map out some pretty insane strategies. And the Overlord is actually not going towards him now. He's turned around.
It, yeah. Kind of interesting. When people got their Overlords in each other's bases, early on in ZVZ, I used to play all the mirror matchups way back in the day, right? I've been a Terran player since like year 1, basically, but
Played a lot of ZVZ and PvP, and I remember that there was basically, at least in the foreigner scene, the understanding was if you get one more drone than your opponent,
12
you're
hatch
ahead,
versus
right?
9 pool.
It kind of holds true. So I remember there were definitely games where the overlords would get in
Pool
each other's
9 gas.
bases and you would just drone.
So Soma's gonna
And
do
you
a
go-
Ling attack, it
Now
seems
this
like.
was obviously foreigners, not Koreans, right? Where they're just like, no, we're gonna make a spawning pool. But I remember games where it was like, okay, you both have 18 drones right now. It's time for a pool finally, right?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
the other guy goes to 19, and then there you go. There's your
Yeah.
little edge. But obviously they have gotten way past that at this point.
So go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Queen, with the expansion here and the Lings coming out from Soma, Soma's really varying his play a lot today.
Yeah, he's got quite a range of play here.
As soon as he hits
And
on her
we could end up
gas,
in
he'll
a
probably
similar
go for
situation
speed
to
first.
What happened here in game 2, except that Queen is going to know at the very last second here. The Lings, keep in mind on Benzine, they saw the Lings way ahead of time. What exactly does Queen do here? This is a very fortunate positional
And
situation
he sent
here for
the
Soma.
Lings up to the
It's
right
a lot closer.
location
You see,
by
he's
luck.
not just pulling 4 drones like we saw before. He's pulling 9 drones down here
This
right
is
now.
also an angle where you can't
This is
drone drill
better.
very easily.
You
He
have to
doesn't
dr-
have
you have to
vision
pull
of
more
any mineral
drones.
patches
Yeah.
right now with his overlord. So he has to drill
Oh,
only
that's
down
right.
to the actual mineral patches he sees. Oh god, taking a lot of damage on
Unfortunate.
those drones so far.
He has killed 1 drone, now 2, 3,
Ooh,
He is having
4,
a really
too many
hard time
Lings.
here.
5,
Oh my
It's
god.
going worse than what Soma did.
6, almost 6
My
here.
god,
Keep
he's
in
gonna
mind
take-
the hatchery.
he's not-
he's
he's
gonna kill the
taking the
hatchery here
hatchery.
too. And now Ling's speed's done, which allows him to escape without suffering any more losses.
okay, so this is
Huge
pretty much over,
advantage here.
right?
Keep in mind, those drones were not mining this entire time. GG, Queen
Yeah.
taps out
Yeah.
as Soma takes it with his first win here in this best.
Yeah, so let's back up just a second, right? So when this is happening and he's pulling his drones, you see the position of his overlords right here? They're not floating above any mineral patches, like here or here. Or he can't drill his drones. He has to drill his drones to these mineral patches, which means that they gravitate towards this side of the hatchery. He needs to block the Lings on this side of the hatchery. So that actually screwed him over. That amount of drones, if he drilled properly, he could have held that off probably.
So far,
Keep in mind, those
I think that actually shows what we were talking about in Benzine very well. So he pulled 9 drones, lost more drones and hatchery in the game to the 9 pool.
Yeah, look at
On
Queen.
Benzine, Soma lost 3 drones when he pulled 4 drones, right? Or
Yeah.
5 drones, or however
4,
many
I
he pulled,
think.
4 drones. So it's like, okay, yeah, that's the difference. Why we were like, oh, it's 9 pool is not as popular on Benzine, it's just not as powerful. But they're in close spawns, insta-whip.
By the way, that was 9 full speed. So he was going to, I mean, there was no way for Queen to win. You can see how salty he is right now. Very frustrating moment here. Because once you send the drones back, the Lings from Soma are still stronger. They have the speed upgrade.
Yeah.
So Soma was moments away from executing Queen in that game.
It's one of
Now
those
looking forward,
games
and
that
now
I
we have ourselves
mentioned
a real
where
series here, 'cause it's
you just get a build
Soma wins
order,
is much more doable.
cheesy
2-1
win.
to 3-0.
Well, yeah, really, it's like the plasma loss is something you almost have to discount. That map is so different, right? It doesn't really tell the story of what the rest of the series is going to look like.
Right.
So Soma now getting himself on the board. Next map going to be Eclipse. Oh wait, no, Shakur's Temple. Sorry, Shakur's Temple.
That's
It's
right.
a big 4-player map. But yeah, I mean, as far as ZDZ goes,
It's
unless there's
2-1
some
now.
sort of weird gimmick on the map, it's like, okay, a 4-player map, similar to Polyport.
Got a free
A
win.
little bit bigger, I think. I think it's slightly longer rush distance.
Exactly what he needed.
I think you might be right about that.
Down 2-1 is
Okay, so we are
so
ready to
different.
go into game 4.
Being down
And
3-0.
this is really important now for Queen.
From a
If Queen can get up to
psychological
3-1, this is so much
perspective.
closer. If Soma evens it out, then we almost go into this best of 3 from here, you know?
How
And our
you
game is ready, guys.
deal
We'll
with
continue
that
on here in the
mentally.
ASL finals.
ASL 시즌 10 게임 준비 완료.
Being down 3-0 is so taxing for your mentality.
샤크로스 템플에서 게임을 시작합니다.
All right, top left, we have Soma. Bottom left, we have Queen.
Queen is scouting towards the north here. I
Careful,
believe-
you might turn the Overlord now that you said
I might
that.
jinx it. And we actually have Soma headed towards the south. So, no, excuse me, bottom right scout. So that is one thing you can do in ZVZ is cross scout.
Yeah, do see that
And it
sometimes.
seems like there'd be some builds that would be better for that than others where you need them to know your position last.
That makes sense. Well, I'm interested to see what
Kind of weird. You don't really see a cross scout very often.
Right? It's been considered for a very long time to be a bit rock, paper, scissory.
Yeah, but then you have players like Jaedong that ended up with such a high win rate, it seems to debunk that. But I think on the surface, you're right.
I think an overpool here would be safe.
Actually, you know, on TeamLiquid.net, obviously
Doesn't seem like any of them are going for that.
To do with StarCraft.
A 12 pool or a
There's this
12
guy,
hatch here.
I believe his ID was Let Me Lose. That wrote some beautiful articles on StarCraft, and one of them was actually about Zergs and ZVZ and JVZ, which is Jaedong versus Zerg.
Yeah.
And his high win percentage had more to do with him always winning when he got the build order advantage than overcoming when he was at a
12
disadvantage.
hatch.
Oh, wow.
So his
Soma.
win rate when he got the advantage, like a 9 pool against a hatchery first, was astronomically high, is why his win rate was so good. So there definitely is a little bit of
12
that
hatch.
going on, right? Where it's like, oh, okay, you got to look at these opening builds and see who has that edge.
Yeah.
Or 11 hatch, rather.
And so now in this game, we've had a quick hatchery here for Soma, which is about to be scouted. It will be Queen scouting Soma first, although I think these overlords are going to see each other, which means Soma will know the position that Queen is in. He will not know the build. Oh, no,
Yes.
hold on. He actually turned away just in time?
Oh, interesting.
Wait.
Huh.
Yeah,
Did he see
I
him?
don't.
He must have seen
No, that's
him, right?
definitely far enough they can't see each other.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think Queen might know and Soma may not.
Yeah.
That might be the case. Huh.
Yeah, that's far away enough.
Look at that.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so Soma really...
Wow. So Queen just saw the edge of the creep, or like the hatchery. So he turned his overlord away. Soma sent his second overlord down here. See Queen's overlord, because if you're at the bottom, if Soma's sending it down, the bottom spawn should be arriving right there. Since he turned around, he doesn't think he's bottom spawn. So he sent this overlord that was scouting down to the bottom right, now scouting to the top right with it, and then he's sending this one cross spawn. Very interesting. Soma's getting screwed out of, he's getting a little disadvantage here from not knowing where Queen is at.
actually... Soma literally has no idea where his opponent is. It could be any of the three spawns.
That's
Now,
interesting.
can Queen somehow utilize this to get an advantage?
A
I don't
brilliant
know.
decision.
Well, I mean, he knows where he is, so that's definitely something he can. He knows what angle to look at for like Zerglings coming in and things like that. Queen going up in supply a little bit right there. Okay, looks like it was just a pool finishing. And I think Soma just. Oh, Soma actually went Zergling speed.
Interesting.
Let's see what Queen does.
This is funny because I feel like this is what Soma would do if he knew what the Queen scouted him first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
okay,
So Queen is
I
paying-
love the way that he maneuvered the Overlord back around. He
Yeah,
actually gets
Queen
to
is
spot at this
playing
location.
to punish
Yeah, and we'll see
this.
Zerglings running out. That's
And
amazing.
Soma would never assume there's an Overlord there.
Yeah.
You basically always scout for that.
Well, this Overlord already kind of swept the area. All right, he's going to pop
know
in now
now?
because he does want to see the Zergling count.
Think he knows?
Now, we see that Queen already has a sunken up, which means he definitely started layer in his main base, right? So he has that edge because Soma is going to get aggressive.
Yeah.
You don't go speed
this is a
first
big
and
edge
then,
for
you
Queen
know,
right now.
Just sit on it.
Oh. And I love how Soma's hid half of his lings.
Yeah, yeah.
So it looks like he has some lings, but just never enough. But when he sees the extra 4 come out here, it's going to be bad. And that moment
he's
is
flooding
now.
lings. Wow.
Soma going for a bust here. This is actually one of the better spots to try to bust on this map because you don't get an easy drill position with your drones. But does the
SimCity's
evolution
going to be
chamber, that's
problematic.
just a big obstruction here. Does it change that? Seems like it
Oh my
would.
gosh!
Oh my
look at
God.
this. It's beautiful how his Zerglings are set up. The drones coming in to block as well.
Oh, the drone position
Oh
is
my
brilliant
God.
here as well. Oh, this was just totally
Huge advantage.
Holy
Whoa.
Huge
crap.
advantage.
He held that so well.
Wow.
That.
He slapped that down.
Yeah, he completely
Yeah, he smacked the
crushed
shit
that.
out of that.
Soma is
In, like-
missing teeth after that one.
And that was like the most straightforward shutdown I've ever seen.
yeah.
That was crazy.
Where it's like, you didn't know about this? He like, makes an Evo chamber. He's like, what about now?
Evo
What are you gonna do
chamber
now?
Yeah.
was so
Just a
good.
beautiful
And he's
block.
like, I'm gonna get you, and he just like runs in there and dies.
Totally didn't work.
All
More
right.
and more lings.
Is he gonna
flooding
make
out.
another
Soma-
Evo here
Yeah,
once he
Soma
sees the
stopped doing
links?
this. Evolution Chamber Act 2? No.
Oh, huh.
Well, Queen is doing nothing but making lings now as well, and he does have
Oh,
that
he is
sunken.
making solid
Don't forget,
lings.
Sunkens have 2 armor, right? So
Gonna have like a
they kinda
10-second
sit there and
advantage on the
they can
Spire
take
as well.
A ton of damage. They 2-shot lings.
Sunkens are, if you have to take a fight with lings, or pretty much anything else with the ground, you really have to factor in the sunk.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Queen has basically matched, if not exceeded, the number of lings that Soma has here now. And because Queen deflected the attack, Queen also now has the tech on his side.
He has better econ, better tech.
He'll be able to tech
And
into more
apparently
mutilisks.
more lings.
And
So
I love this branching out of the lings.
he has static
to try
D.
to just clean up anything else that's on the map.
That's a
And
lot of
now
lings.
he's probably itching to try to counter into Soma's natural, but I think Soma may also try to counterattack here. So
I think
let's
this
see how
will be
this goes.
blocked.
If Soma's going to win this, it's going to be through this play here.
Yeah, that's right. He needs to make this work. It looks like Drone's getting pulled as quickly as possible. The ling's glitching a little bit on the ramp now. A lot of lings coming
Okay,
back from
this is
Queen
reasonable.
to stop
He
this
needs
aggression.
kills though. He needs to kill
Really good
drones.
control here by Queen so far. He's not losing too many drones.
Oh my god.
Meanwhile,
Queen is just, he's doing such a good job here.
Yeah, he is just doing a fantastic job.
He hasn't
Mutas are gonna
lost any
hatch.
drones, dude.
Now,
This,
they may be forced
well,
to try
aside
to
from the
defend
one on the
against these
ramp.
lings first before
my
trying
God,
to counter
Soma's
up
getting
towards the
stomped
north
in
where
this
Soma's
game.
position is. But again, I think he's just doing a very good zoning game. These lings can't really get anywhere.
Didn't get a
He is
single kill in the main.
Absolutely everything. Now, the Spire is done for Soma as well. He is starting to create mutilisks.
That has to be
Soma
so
might have bought
deflating.
enough time, but he has to be ready to absorb this attack here that should be coming
Like
from
if you're
Queen, and it's gonna
going
be
for that
Mutilisks
run by
and Zerglings.
Yeah, he
And
can't
I'm-
stop
with
either. I
all
don't
the
think.
lings,
I don't think
and you
so.
don't
I
get a
would
single
say if
thing,
it was
someone
one
just
or the
shuts you
other,
down
maybe
like
he has a shot,
Matumbo.
but
It has to be
basically,
really demoralizing.
Soma's Mutilisks will be fighting while the Lings are going to completely trample
Soma's supply
position.
blocked now too by
Yeah,
that Overlord.
Soma snuck a few lings out, so I think he's going to try another counter. But like you said, he's
Yeah.
going to decide what to deal with, and he just can't kill both.
No, I
The
think
Mutas
this is
and the
going to be a
Lings
killing
are
blow
going to be
here.
too much
This should be fatal here.
You
Queen
can't
probably gonna
concentrate
take
on-
three as he moves
on
in.
both.
And again, the Lings are going to do damage while the Mutalisk dogfight occurs above.
Oh man, that hatchery taking so much damage
Oh,
right now.
good job.
Queen taking
That's
some
very
time,
good, very
picking
good
off
by
the
Soma.
Scourge with his mutas.
And you can see he's trying to have the Mutas in a hold position over the hatchery so that maybe as the Scourge chase that away, he can do something to counterattack here by Soma, though. Going for the Spire, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Now, there is one sunken colony, so Lings can't close the game
Oh my
out.
God.
Losing the Spire, if Soma can actually survive this attack, he might be able to tech up.
Dude, he lost
but again,
the
I think
Spire.
there's just too many Mutalisks right now.
But
here
I
for
think-
Queen.
Some really beautiful
Yeah, I think Queen
ideas
does too
out of
much.
Soma, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. The Muta's actually engaging right now. It looks like he's going to kill all the Mutas of Soma. And
that's
nothing
it.
Soma is doing is working out right now.
Yeah, this is going to be GG as Mutas
Thought
come
that
in
was
here
a
with
good
killing
idea.
blow. There's no way for Soma to recover, and this is going to be a 3-1 lead here.
Thought that was a good idea to counterattack and kill the Spire. Unfortunately, Soma just didn't have enough Mutas at home to defend. He was doing a really good job buffering that initial attack, though. He used the Scourge to push the Mutas away while he sniped the Zerglings with his own Mutas, but didn't last forever because Queen microed against the Scourge and killed them.
Here for Queen. GG.
3-1 lead.
But I tell you what, there's certain things about Soma's play that I'm really liking.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Something in the main and counter-attacking specifically the Spire, these were great moves. If
I
there was
agree.
going
Those
to be
were
a way for
very
him to come back,
intelligent,
that is
strategic
about
moves.
the best guess I can come up with.
Yeah. That was really impressive there by Queen.
It was.
And that was him exhibiting just so much knowledge. It's interesting to see Queen. He does meditate off.
That hold where he put the Evo up, defended that Ling rush, and then the second one where Soma got his Lings in, but he didn't lose a single drone in the main base. That was fucking breathtaking. That was immaculate how good that defense was. I can't even believe it.
Been on in these games, or in between the games, I should say.
Well, this guy's, he's been a pro since, like, I want to say 2008. He popped on the scene.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's been strong ever since then. He's so seasoned.
And from here, either Queen is going to close this out shortly, or we're going to see one of the greatest comebacks ever. I think Soma's had a lot of ideas. The problem is Queen seems to be exhibiting so much knowledge about a best-of-7 ZVZ. He really seems to know the ins and outs of each map, how one of the other best players would look and approach the map, and he knows exactly how to shut it down. he really seems to encapsulate the entire meta of ZVZ and then know how to sidestep it. And that's what ZVZ strategically so much is sidestepping the moves of the other player.
Yeah, it feels like he's in such control. Yeah, he lost that one game with close
Yeah,
spawn.
it does feel like he's
first,
in
but what are you
control.
gonna do? Those are going to occur.
Guess that would be the way to put it.
He's just been dominating.
Yeah. This is just incredible.
Just managing the situations perfectly.
We're back at the VSBN studio. Soma versus Queen, ASL Final Season 10. Queen with a 3-1 lead. We have seen players come back from these positions. A lot of hard countering in the early game here. This is really not exactly what we expected as far as ZVZ here today. I think you and I both came into this Tastosis really thinking this is going to be a game, I should say a series of mechanics. It has become a series of planning. As Queen, throughout most of tonight, at least up until now, has drastically outmaneuvered Soma in openings and in responses. I mean, we can go back to the Mutalisk fight there in Game 4, but really that came down to the Evolution Chamber blocking, deflecting, shutting down the Ling's flood that Soma attempted to do. And once that was done, he cancels it, sends the drone back, losing virtually nothing, and being heavily propelled into the lead. Soma's going to need to really step it up, and a lot of the moves he has to do have to be decided before the game starts.
It's true. He's had a hard time with it so far, but you know what? We're going into a two-player map. I could see this one, Soma maybe slowing it down a pace and getting into those mutas and seeing if maybe he can outplay Queen there.
Let's go to Game 5 now on the map Eclipse.
ASL 시즌
I'd like to see a little bit of a more late game match. What map was this? Oh, Eclipse. Okay.
eclipse에서 게임을 시작합니다.
They're 1v1.
So in the bottom left, we have Soma. Of course, it's match point for his opponent. He has to win here. In the top right, defending
Gotta
champion.
win. A lot of pressure.
That match point, ready for his second championship. It's Queen.
New guy,
Now,
not a
this is
ton
a
of
map
experience on the main
where
stage.
we need to point out
It's up against the
it's a
wall.
one-on-one
He's got to
map,
make something
so,
happen.
A map like Polypoid, for instance, there's a very high chance you don't find them or they find you right away. Here, because it's a one-on-one map, you know your opponent's spawn immediately. So that can help because so much of these games have come down to Soma basically being outplanned here by Queen. Or the map generating so much ambiguity because you can't scout them right away. I think Queen's plans seem to work out a little bit better. Now in this game, Queen doing a drone
Yeah,
scout,
that's interesting, isn't it?
I feel like we don't see this
That's unusual.
often in ZVZ.
Oh. Not sure.
And it's going to go around the Overlord, by the way.
Naturally.
Maybe he's looking to block a
Wait,
12
no way. Is he going to do a hatchery? Is he going to build an offensive hatch?
No, he's not going to make a hatch there, no.
No,
Look,
he's waiting for the Overlord.
He has
Right,
three.
right,
He's
exactly.
banking
I thought
300
he was
minerals.
doing the spin that it
Gonna
sometimes
do a
does before
hatch in
implants there.
Soma's base.
So,
that would be quite the spin there.
No fucking way, right?
Oh my god.
No way.
have been casting
Holy.
He's gonna make a
playing
hatchery?
StarCraft for
That'll never get
more
scouted
than
though
two-thirds
because
of
it's
my
a
life, and
one-player
I've never
map.
seen this. Have you seen this? I don't have.
Okay, real quick. Holy shit. Can't believe he's actually doing this. He's trying to win and style on him.
Hatchery in
If that gets found, it's just like you lose instantly. So he's banking on this 100% not being found.
your opponent's
Which this is a good base or a good map to do that.
main base. That is
Now-
insanity.
I don't
He's
even.
trying to style on him. He's trying to make it
I don't.
memorable.
Because
He shouldn't send any overlords
Winning
to the
game,
north.
right?
He shouldn't
Right.
send anything to the north in his base. It's good.
I
I wonder if he'll realize it when the creep starts to connect.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's interesting. There's actually not a lot of room, right, between here and here. Ideally, if this wasn't here and you could put the hatcheries where these two doodads were, that'd be a lot better. Because it's down here, the creep is actually going to connect eventually.
Is the reason why you don't.
Depends how fast the creep spreads, because so what he needs to get out of this hatch is like a full set of Zerglings. He can manage to get 6 lings out of this hatch before the creep connects, then that will work. But if the creep connects and he only gets like 1 or 2 pairs of Zerglings, then I don't know if he can actually carry that through, right? Because I don't know if that's enough manpower to kill Soma before he can react to it.
Hatcheries very
It
often
depends
is
what
because
Soma's
they
build
tend to
is.
expose themselves because creep branches
Yeah,
out
Soma's-
over time, and unless you really have a spot or like a position on the map that's so big that they
Soma
just
should
won't
have
see
Lings
it.
here.
Yeah.
Also, keep in mind, if Soma just spots this at all, I'm sure that Queen knows the ins and outs of this, but Lings can just go up here and kill this. And
Yeah, if
I
he
don't.
spotted it, but there's no reason in the universe why you would check up there.
Now,
Correct.
the position on this map would allow you to make, I think, a sunken colony, and then a second one, and you could hit their
Or
gas.
you think it might be a sunken push?
I think so. Or
Oh,
my
interesting.
thought is you know how you always see the Ling concave
Could be a
at the top of the
sunken
map?
push,
If you
but
flank that with 2 to 4 Lings, you win.
Oh, that's a good point, too.
Because the Ling concave is like you're basically holding on.
But look at where the spawning pool is put. The spawning pool is always put
Oh,
around the
yeah, you could-
extractor, so he can actually.
So what Artosis is saying is he thinks Queen is going to flood Lings to Soma's base, and in response, Soma is going to have to go to the top of his ramp and make a concave to defend against it. Then he's going to use the hatchery in his base to do like a surround. He's going to put Lings both sides of the concave at the top of the ramp to break through. Interesting. Faceless also mentioned a sunken push. I don't see that as quite as viable. He's going to need to get at least 2 pairs of Lings, in my opinion, before he does a sunken push. And at which point, creep might connect, or he might be spotted, and I don't know if he would have enough time to complete a sunken push. I think it's just going to be Lings, honestly.
Make a drone here.
See,
and
he
make
left
a
that
sun.
drone there, by the way. That
Yeah.
drone was there to make it look like he was going down to make a hatchery.
Yeah, that's very
Oh my
true.
God,
That's
yeah,
very
she-
clever. He brought the drone down, fake like he was on his way to make a hatchery because he knew the Lings were coming. So he's trying to make it look like he was just taking a late hatchery and that he doesn't have a hatchery hidden somewhere. These guys are so fucking smart, man.
She catches one of the Ling, gets a lot of free hits there.
You
So,
can't
so
take-
far
you
this trade is
cannot
going very well
take
for Soma.
drone
We don't know that
kills here.
Soma is cognizant of the hatchery up there. He might see the creep, but you know, in your mind as a Zerg player, you're not thinking about a hidden hatchery, right?
Okay, he's actually making the Lings immediately and setting
Oh,
them into
man.
the mineral line down
Soma's
at the bottom.
control here
Now,
is really
speed
good.
is done here
The
for
speed
Soma.
just
He's
finished.
starting to deal some serious damage in the main base of Queen. But Queen has those Lings in there.
Are we not going to get a shot of this? Okay, thank you. We're going to get. We see the Lings coming here now.
Okay, so he has 1 pair of Lings.
I feel like Soma just is going to overwhelm Queen
I think
here.
he's going to smash it.
Yeah, he just
GG.
Yeah, he
All
can't
right,
deal with
Queen's
that.
strategy will go into the dust bins of history.
wow. He
Cool
tried to win
idea.
with
I
a
think
little
against
cute
some
idea,
builds,
but
you're probably going to have a great advantage there, but certainly not this
just
game.
got smashed.
That was, you can see Queen.
I really don't agree with this. Queen was clearly trying to do like a memorable thing where he just completely does a weird build and just embarrasses Soma and then claims the championship off of it so it'd be remembered, but I don't like that. Like, you're taking a risk. You have the guy down 3-1. All you have to do is bury him in 1 game and you take that type of risk. I don't think that was like the percentages, right? If you're going to take a risk on something, I don't think that's it. I think that's a low percentage winning. But I don't know. I think what happens now is you lose momentum. That's dangerous. You have 2 games to go and you have to win 1 of them. You could lose both. It's not out of the realm of possibility that you lose 2 games. CVZ, for Christ's sakes.
He wanted to end on a high note.
I just don't think
You know what I mean? Wouldn't it be great
that's
to win your second
a
ASL,
smart thing
find
to
a
do.
hatchery in a strategy.
You're up 3-1 because you've played standard and you've played well and you've shown that you have better control. So I would have lent on that to close out the series rather than some weird cheese. I think this swings a little bit of momentum in Soma's favor, gives him a little light at the end of the tunnel, some fresh air to breathe. It's a dangerous thing, man.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think we've ever seen
But
that.
yeah, I can't. Not that I can remember at least. Look, what if he's getting too fancy now, though? Remember, this is how Flash lost last season to Queen. Is he was getting uber fancy.
Yes,
against
He was styling a
exactly.
little bit too hard, but it's like, stick to
Yes.
what you know.
Yeah, he was like dabbing the whole match, and we just this
Yeah.
was a dab right there.
Yeah, that was a
That
dab
was a
right there.
dab.
He needs to return to his boomer form and just do a 12.
Yeah, that was a teabagging move right there, where it's like, really, dude, you just need to throw fireballs and uppercuts. You need to calm down, build your meter. You don't need to teabag him the whole game.
Well,
But-
lots of style points,
yeah.
but you can see he's kind of like hand caught in the cookie jar.
Yeah. In the cheesy
Yeah, you
jar.
can tell he's annoyed.
Orange handed.
That was, look, I mean, congrats to Soma, he won, but I don't feel like Soma so much outplayed Queen. I think there was a little bit of better control there in the lane attack in the main, but really Queen's strategy backfired, and it cost him a game. And you know what? It may cost him the finals here. If Soma can keep the momentum
Wait,
going,
crazy.
Soma's able to beat Queen.
Yes.
Queen just has a lead right now.
Yes, yes. All right, wait a minute. So this brings us to map 6.
Ringing
That's
Bloom.
Ringing Bloom, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting map because, you know, obviously
Yeah,
you have a
actually very
with the natural
interesting.
in the back. So both players should be going for a fast
You
expansion.
can also
here.
get a sunken column.
This kind of seems like more of a static D game to me. Feel like well, I don't know. It depends on the build orders and stuff, but it's hard to say.
Colony up and defend your ramp.
That is true. Do you think they'll use that here?
I
I think
am
it's
not
for
sure.
Protoss and Terran.
What also seems like you want a sunken colony in your main always because that's, if you're going to have one over the ramp, because
It's so easy to run past.
can you do a sunken colony rush though on this map, ZVZ? I don't
I
know.
don't think so. It's too far away.
Yeah, you're probably
Too
right,
far away.
actually.
The first sunk doesn't do anything, and it's like, well, then they can start one sunk, and that's it.
Okay, guys, we're going to go to Game 6. If Soma wins this, we're tied up 3-3. If Queen wins, he's the ASL Season 10 champion.
ASL 시즌 10 게임 준비 완료. 링잉 블룸에서 게임을 시작합니다.
So we have Soma there. Top right, bottom left.
He's got to win 2 games now to reverse, well,
So,
not reverse
cross
sweep,
spawns.
but hit the comeback. Queen only needs to win 1 of these 2 games.
Would be huge if Soma wins this and actually brings us that game 7, because I think we both came in thinking, oh, this could definitely be a 7-game series, which we
Yeah,
don't get that
I
often.
agree. Could be a
But
7-game
then,
series.
You know, it's really felt like Queen has been dominating this series. Even with the 2 map wins that Soma has, if Queen wins here, I will remember this as a one-sided series, even though it ends 4-2. You know what I mean?
A little bit.
Yeah, well, I think,
Maybe a little bit.
you know,
Tastosis.
we did see strategies backfire today on both sides. Game 1 was Soma's strategy just completely not working.
Yeah.
And it seems like we saw the theory actually play out on why it doesn't work on spawns that far apart. On a map, we may never have a situation like that that could allow a game to go that direction. But same thing here in game, 5, where Queen tried to do possibly one of the coolest ZVZ plays we've seen, but it didn't work out.
Yeah,
And
that
the
was a
funny thing is, a
ballsy
game
play.
like that, history, it's interesting how games are remembered in StarCraft, right? Like, who's the player who did this against July Zerg? And I can't believe I'm not remembering the Terran player. Casey, where you see that's so funny. You know exactly what I'm about to say. There's a game where somebody made it
Uh-oh,
look
it's lagging.
like, did the game just crash?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
hold
looks
on.
like it froze.
Uh-oh.
Queen's lagging.
Yeah, Queen raised his hand. So I think something happened on his computer.
Yeah, it looks like it.
But there was this game. This is actually good. Since we have downtime, I can explain this. There was a game where Casey, the player, made it look like he had fast expanded by having something like 10 SCVs mine. Long distance.
The
at
Overlord
natural.
was set in such a location
Yes.
that you wouldn't see the command center, but you would see
I think it was Reverse Lost Temple.
It was Reverse Lost Temple.
And it looked like, yeah, the Terran had done a quick expand, and then suddenly this Marine bust comes out. And it was one of the coolest moments, like, ever in StarCraft. And I think in Game 5, we could have had that moment as well. But when those strategies don't work, it not only is it a loss, it looks foolish, it looks embarrassing, but there's a lot of cool ideas there.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is the first game we're casting here where StarCraft 1 has crashed. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly
Yeah.
what that's all about, but
I don't know.
something did go wrong.
How's the mustache going?
You tell me.
I love it.
You love it?
You need to grow it out more.
Well, I'm growing it for a whole month,
Yeah.
so we're going to see how it looks at the end.
You've never looked more qualified to direct a porno than now. I approve.
Thank you. Thank you, Tastosis.
I approve of it.
Well, that's the only reason I did it, is to get your approval.
Yes.
You're the father
You've
figure.
never looked more
younger.
qualified to teach like a wood shop in high school.
And I never will either, because
Yeah.
I'm not a woodshop type of guy.
Well, but you could pass now. If you
I'm
said-
more into metalworking.
Yeah, I dig it. I grow it out a little bit more. It needs to thicken up. And then there'll be no stopping us,
There'll be
Tastosis.
no stopping
We will
us.
have a monopoly on facial hair as far as all esports goes.
Well, I
Think
think
about that.
I think at that point you need to shave your mustache and just be a beard.
Oh, I need to do like the Amish guy thing where
Yes.
it's just down here?
Yes.
And me with this, I want to look like an Amish guy going to the bank?
yeah. And then
Yeah, with my suit on and everything?
then
I
we
can lose the
complete each other
jacket.
like that.
Huh?
Then we complete each other truly like that.
That's right. So when we kiss, our facial hair merges together into
That's
one.
right, we
yeah.
tickle each other.
Exactly. Do you think the Queen is going to just crush this out, or is we going to go to the... We never really have this. We never really go to Game 7, StarCraft 1 or StarCraft 2. It's very rare.
Yeah.
It's hard to get to that game 7. It's like so many strange things have to happen to have it be that close. I'm kind of hoping that that's what happens here. It's ringing gloom, and I really like the spawns they got, but there's no resume from replay. So if we have to restart that game, it's just new spawns.
No, I don't think.
And you can get an advantage / disadvantage from that.
Now, you can, as you leave the game, check the score. Was the game going on long enough for us to see?
That's what I was
for one of the
thinking.
players to check the score and go, oh, he's doing this build?
No, I don't think so, because they were not up to 9 drones yet. There's no real builds.
Okay.
No one really does any build that doesn't get up to 9 drones.
Because if you end the game and then you see, like, you're able to see your opponent's minerals, you can be like, oh, well, they went 9 pool, or, you know, whatever. That's an interesting point. So, they have to restart this completely, because, like their spawn locations, I thought that made for an interesting game. If they have to change, I hope they don't get cross, but
yeah, I know what you mean. That's definitely something they have to take into consideration. I do remember that happening back in the day where you're like, you can tell by my score I was rushing. Like, this is unfair. That this has to be restarted, you know?
I'm not used to seeing your mustache now on the preview monitor. I've gotten used to it like in real life, but now I'm seeing it here. And you do look like the villain in a cartoon. Now, if you
kind of act like the villain in a cartoon.
Yeah, you are a little
too,
bit like that, yeah. I think the mustache does complete you, though. Now, how much longer will you grow it out for?
A couple weeks.
A couple weeks.
Yeah.
Now, are you gonna like grow it? Are you gonna do the Fu Manchu and grow it out?
I don't know, yeah.
Are you gonna get some wax and be one of those guys? One of those unbearable guys where they wax the mustache?
Time will tell. I'm not sure.
There's so much you can do.
Yeah.
There's so much potential here. I'm so excited.
It's exciting, I know.
Yeah.
It's most exciting you've been about me in a long time. It's the only way to spice up our casting together after
Yes,
this many
I
years.
think if we give you a
My
cape, you
God.
would make a great evil magician, actually.
Hey, we didn't have to restart. That's sick.
Wow, resume for replay, Blizzard. Okay.
Okay.
So.
All right, Soma is going.
Okay, we're back in.
Here. They're cross spawns. Yeah, I like Soma's play here. Looks good to me.
So.
Ma.
Nice. We're killing it in this cast, man. Is this our best finals? I think so.
What a troll.
Probably. We just keep topping ourselves every finals, though.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
This one or the one we didn't do?
Yeah. The one ASL finals we had to miss.
Yeah.
So, I think in this game, again, there's a few features we need to watch for on this map. You're given a natural expansion in the back of your base. Now, in most matchups, that's free because there's no way for them to prevent it. It's not exactly the case in ZVZ. Ramp control at your entrance to your main is important, but it's very big. You need a lot of lings to block that, so it's easily breakable. And they can pick and choose where to fight if they do break you. Now, I don't know that ling flooding is going to be a theme here, but it's something we want to watch for.
Yeah. Ling flooding definitely is a possibility, but again, you know, cross spawns, it's going to be even a little bit harder to do that. Queen going to move out with some lings. Of course, he has a slightly quicker layer here, slightly quicker pool, but he doesn't really have any opportunity to punish what Soma has done. So you have to give a slight edge to Soma here.
Again, this map's it's structurally very strange and unusual. And also the fact that it's 4-player, there's so much ambiguity as far as where your opponent is and what they're doing.
Yeah, I haven't seen a ton of
unless you're doing
ZVZ
some
on
kind
this
of an
map.
all-in, a lot of times Zerg players will try to do a sort of a catch-all build. Probably more focused on. It does seem like on maps, 4-player maps like this, we tend to go into mid-game a lot more often.
Well, especially a map like this, right? Because you're not guarding the ramp into your main as well as a natural with drones mining at it. Here, it's literally just the ramp into the main, and then, yeah, you do have to look out for mutas possibly coming into your back natural, but small price to pay, right? It's much more defensible. You're always going to basically be able to get the expansion up. Oh, he did make a creep colony underneath.
Spire timing, basically.
The Cerebrate or whatever. The Overmind cocoon.
The tent or whatever.
Yeah, the tent. He made a creep colony in the tent.
Yeah, the Arctic expedition tent that throbs.
Yeah,
the throbbing tent.
Look at that.
Throbbing tent.
So
interesting. Probably not a euphemism.
We still need this tent.
Yeah, but we got to be warm. I mean, come on.
So Queen Spire's a little bit
It's
faster.
actually an Overmind cocoon, isn't it? Wow, this is a lot of lings from Soma.
Yeah. Is it an Overmind cocoon?
That is a lot of lings from Soma, that is right.
Well, that's what's most important. What you believe.
Zerg Sunken Colony. Yeah, it turns out it's a Zerg Sunken Colony.
Well, the funny thing is, it's not easy to scout this, right?
What, the ling amount?
The sunken colony. It doesn't show it. It's not to the naked eye. It doesn't just appear. I don't know if that's going to be much of a factor though, because creep will spread out right away. Yeah, you can already see. Never mind.
Yeah, the creep definitely would tell you. Now that's a lot of lings. If Soma attacks, like that'll be really good for Queen because he made the sunken, right?
Yeah, I think had he not made that, he wouldn't be able to get up there. But I think once
Given the
sunken
cross
colony
spawns,
fires, and you go back.
And the builds
problem,
they
though,
went
is that I
for,
don't know
this
how you can
seems
use
like
those
it might
lings later
actually
on. It
get
seems
into
like
a
a
good
bad investment.
like mid game here.
So Queen's going to have a little bit of an initiative lead here. He might be able to pick off an Overlord, maybe two. I'm not sure.
If he can find him.
Well, and that can start to allow Queen to get
he can get one here.
Bigger lead here. Will Soma try to come in here and defend? A lot of times we'll see them stay back, but it's pretty difficult to ever chase them away. And this will not supply block just yet, but in a second, we're going to have another Overlord hatching here for Soma, or Queen can really start to mount pressure.
I think our Overlord's die is one of the most annoying,
you definitely see a lot more
says the Zerg player.
Dots around the center, right? Like
Just throws off your timing.
This is one of my favorite things about Queen's.
Okay, so what he did there was he killed his own Zergling to free up a supply so he can make another Mutalisk.
Zerg versus Zerg specifically, he's
while he waits for the Overlord to finish.
And making sure he's not missing something like Lings waiting for a counterattack or an Overlord out in the open.
Yeah, great kill on those Lings. Even Lings are a resource in a game like this.
Of course they are.
You're going to need to use them to win fights there. If you throw away too many, you know, you're not going to have the ability to counterattack as strongly.
Yeah, every tiny little thing does make a big difference in Zerg versus Zerg, unlike some of these other matchups.
What I like here that Soma's doing is he's actually being more defensive. Where I think every other game that went to Mutas, he was the guy attacking first. And then he got out-controlled. And the defender's advantage kicked in because he was fighting at Queen's base where he could reinforce more easily. And he was losing a lot of his advantage by being the aggressor. So I actually like him staying back a little bit and force Queen to make a mistake. As long as he can keep his Overlord safe and his drone line safe, this is a decent play.
A lot of their matchups, you lose one unit and you're like, yeah, it's not really that impactful, right?
Right.
Here, it definitely can be. Okay, Queen gonna come in for the first snipe.
Got one drone.
You can see he's combed the map very well. He's quite
Oh
sure
my
that
God,
there's really
two drones.
nothing outside of here. So as long as he micros very sharply, what can you do? You can't really chase.
Yeah, Soma's on the ropes here. Oh, this is
Oh,
a great
no,
attack
don't let your
over here.
die.
This may be a game where Queen can actually put even more pressure on with his Lings now.
Yeah.
Because the Ling count, I think, now is actually superior for Queen.
Is it? I think he's only spending on Muta Scourge right now.
But the Lings he already made. I mean, I think there's been enough Lings killed off that actually Queen may have a Ling lead here. Now, there's
I think
so
Queen
many
has more
Scourge
stuff.
here.
They have the
definitely
same
maybe
supply,
not.
but
Maybe they're actually more even than I realized.
seems like Queen has the better air army at the
Queen
moment.
right now, he's coming up. He's trying to get engaged. Look at the
Oh
amount
my
of Scourge
God.
coming in.
Oh, he
that's a
connected
good
with the
in
Scourge.
there from Soma. Now let's see if he can actually out-micro Queen like he was saying he'd be able to.
He's got to kill a lot of
Actually, some
Scourge
pretty
here.
good
He's
micro
got to
there
do a
from
lot of
Soma
Scourge.
for a moment.
But I mean,
Micro.
the Scourge count is so overwhelmingly high here for Queen.
Yeah, very
This
much.
is going to be like a sledgehammer to the Muta army here that Soma has, unless he can really outmaneuver.
Neither of them have Ling speed either.
You know, sometimes you have this big Scourge lead, but if your opponent does
So he's going for
out-micro you, then they're
upgrades
just
then,
gonna have
right?
more
Because he
moves.
didn't get Ling
And
speed.
at the end of the day, those are the units with staying power.
I think I saw
Scourge are the
Soma has
opposite of
+1
staying power.
attack, right? Which is weird.
That is
Why
true.
didn't he get armor?
Scourge have a very specific
Unusual.
role. They have to win the fight that they're in at
Actually, maybe he got attack so he could kill the Scourge more easily.
that moment. And do we have armor on either side? No armor here for Queen. Let's see if the observer
No
checks.
upgrades for Queen.
The Muta's here. One armor for Soma. Now
Oh, I
that
thought.
is
Oh,
big.
okay. He has
Yeah,
armor.
it
Okay.
is.
I thought he had attack
Yeah,
for
it
some
is.
reason.
If the Mutas have to just stay and fight each other and there are no Scourge, Soma wins.
Yeah.
Now,
Soma
there's a
has more
chance that
staying
Queen
power.
gets some incredible
It's
connections
a ton
with
of
his
Scourge, though.
If each Scourge can connect with a different Mutalisk, this fight will be over in just a few seconds, and Queen will dominate.
To
The
do a
armor,
lot of anti-Scourge
upgrade will
micro
not be
here.
a factor.
So it looks like right now they have the same amount of Mutas, but there's way more Scourge for Queen,
That's
but
right.
+1 carapace. So this should come down pretty heavily to micro.
Scourge
it
hit
looks like
each other.
Soma's micro so far so good.
Now, this is two control groups of Mutalisks.
Oh, he
Oh
lost.
my gosh! I think that Soma's going to hold
I
this
think
taser.
Soma
So, yeah.
actually wins
Yeah.
this. What are these Lings doing here? They need to be hitting drones or something else.
And what are they doing? He microed all his. He commanded all his units to move up here. Didn't realize that he also commanded his Lings to move. I think what happened was all of Queen's Scourge actually killed the same Muta. I'm pretty sure I just saw that. So that was a big waste. think Soma just has an advantage now because the armor upgrade.
Just microing as hard as he possibly can, so the Ling's not doing too much.
The armor upgrade has finished, I believe, for Queen here too, as this fight's going on.
Oh my gosh, I think you might have been right on that. Oh, he's targeting down that spire.
Oh.
Doesn't
Looks like
matter.
He does turn.
Yeah.
Completely shuts that down. There was a mechanical error there by Queen. He did not have his Lings fighting,
so
doing damage early
does
on.
Queen have
that
Ling
gives Soma
speed?
enough time to respond here.
Doesn't quite get that overlord
Queen
either.
does have the armor upgrade. Occasionally,
I didn't kill that overlord.
especially with these colors here.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he had it. I know Soma has it. Yeah, there it is.
But does Queen have it?
Yeah, let's check. No, he does
Oh,
not.
Queen
He
does no
not have
upgrades
it.
still.
And I would imagine that Soma would be getting, and I don't know in this situation, do you want the second armor or do you just want attack?
Well, second armor is better, but it costs 125 more gas.
Yeah.
And things are
true.
very tight on two base in this
I think he
matchup,
might get
so
1-1.
maybe there's something
Soma
to
might get
getting
1-1
the
here.
+1 attack. But
Absolutely.
I guess if you win a fight like that and you see they're already out, maybe armor is actually the better choice because it absolutely allows you to crush.
You're trying to hide
close
a
out the
third
game.
hatch.
If you can get
Yeah.
it
For
in
the
that
right
time.
moment.
The air upgrades, by the way, guys, they take an insanely long time to get,
Yeah, it's quite a time.
Yep.
especially in ZVZ.
Takes quite a while.
In the shortest matchup
Yeah,
in StarCraft, that's a lot of time to hang on before that upgrade finishes.
It's quite true.
Yeah, the relative
And, you know,
amount of
about
time
the values,
to
right,
the
because those
matchup is
blades,
crazy.
The first armor upgrade prevents 3 damage from mutas. The second one only prevents 2 because the third glaive only does 1 damage anyways, so the first armor takes care of that. So it is still better than the attack in a lot of ways, but so much more expensive. So it's like kind of, we've seen it go both ways.
This is actually a great ZVZ. I think Queen's going to try to come in once more. Now again, he's dumping
Oh, he got the
gas into
Overlord.
Scourge, hoping that he can actually pick off the mutas in a dogfight here. But there's Scourge of Somas that are here to basically absorb a lot of those.
Oh, that micro from Queen, unbelievable. More Scourge coming in as well. He's trying to take
Can't
this
tell
down
what's
right here, right
happening.
now.
I think
don't
Queen is
it's
losing
working,
the
though.
fight.
Soma chasing him down, killing so
Oh
many
my
mutas.
God,
I
he's
think
destroying
this is actually
him.
gonna end it.
Yeah, he can moving shot that. Queen is out.
Holy
GG,
shit.
we're going to game 7.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my
Dude,
fucking
this is
God.
so
Let's
sick.
go.
I can't believe it.
This is so
Let's go,
awesome.
baby. Game 7 in the finals. Let's fucking
Soma
go.
is coming back. I'm actually getting chills right
Look
now.
at
You
Queen.
can see, yeah,
Oh,
his
he's
demeanor
really
has
uneasy.
changed.
Oh,
He's like,
he
oh,
can
should I
see
take
the
that
regret
meter?
in his
Yeah, I got
face
stab on him.
That's
for
the question.
doing that
Did I
hatchery
get teabag? I
play.
could have just built meter.
This, he might end up regretting that bad.
God,
His
this
last
is
map
so
is the first one
exciting.
you have 2 gases in your main.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yes,
So
This is
gases in your
awesome,
main
man.
base.
What
I'll
a
tell you
great,
something, Queen, you can
what a
tell he's
great
happy,
game
you can
that
tell he's
was
not.
from
Yeah.
Soma.
He had a smirk on after the hatch didn't work.
Yeah.
The smirk is gone.
Yeah, Queen is like nearly always smiling. I've never seen him look like that.
You can see he's a little bit more nervous now. He's not as confident. Soma, though,
Yeah,
he
he's
is riding his
nervous,
wave right
he's-
now.
This is a real redemption story in the series here for Soma.
Regretful about
He's
that
back. It's all gonna be
hatchery,
down
I
to one
think.
game, and I have no clue who's going to take this. If Queen wins, he is the 2-time in a row ASL champion, winning both the ASLs in 2020. If Soma wins,
Youngest ASL champion.
Yeah,
Amateur winning ASL for the first time.
newest StarCraft player on the pro scene, to then become a champion, which has mostly been dominated by these legends of the past.
Yes, completely.
Yeah.
Like players that we've known for a very long time.
Yeah. Either Flash or former StarCraft 2 champions and a few other people. So this is going to be very
Let's
exciting.
go, baby.
I
7
love it, man.
coming
I wanna
up.
Get into this game 7. So Optimizer is such a cool map to finish it off on as
Yeah,
well.
Artos was saying on Optimizer,
Yeah,
you have 2 gases in your
Optimizer's
main,
a
and
weird
if you
map.
things about gas, could be a pretty cool game. Guys, we'll be right back after the short break. Don't go
I don't know
away.
how that's going to play out. Alright, let's fucking go, baby. Game 7. One game to decide it all. Is Soma going to complete the comeback, or is Queen going to win a second season in a row? Let's find out.
Welcome back. Quick update. I think we have to swap out one of the players' computers here. So,
Or restart.
I forgot to put my cushion on here. I can't be
He
the
takes
guy
a
here.
booster seat.
That's not true. You're on a cushion too. He is on a
As if I
cushion.
would ever sit on a cushion.
He's on a cushion and his mustache is fake. How about that? So they have to swap out one of the players' computers. There's some problem, but we'll be going into the game shortly here. We rarely ever have Game 7 in the best of 7. StarCraft 2, StarCraft 1, statistically, it is just very rare.
Well, best of 7s are even new in StarCraft 1, so we've never had one.
We're sort of doing best of 7s. My take on it, we never talked to them about this here at AfreecaTV, but I think they just, because they were doing that in StarCraft 2, they just did it in StarCraft 1 now.
Well, I think that there's like I've been trying to figure it out if we should go back to best of 5s everywhere, and I think the answer is probably yes. But there's a certain group of loud StarCraft fans that just are like, more games are better, and then they get their trumpet out and they go into the air.
Yeah, what's that in South African
Well,
horn?
I'm kinda like
They're
that.
not trumpets, they have vuvuzelas.
Yeah, the trumpet.
I don't mind doing best of 7s. I think best of 5s, if you look at it from a statistical standpoint, it's like the actual better player wins in a best of 5 some really high percentage of the time, like 80% or something. Meaning that a best of 7 really isn't going to change that for very much. But I don't know. I'm always in favor of more high-tier games. I mean, unless it's like TVT, in which case that'll just take 10 years to complete. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. I'm fine with either.
It takes so much skill to use.
Exactly.
Just spring into it.
Yeah.
Like, look how loud I am. More games are better.
World Cup, where it sounded like Locust were destroying the game the entire time. I guess we're fast.
Yeah,
Well, the Savage fast. We're actually not very quick at anything. But so much pressure here.
Yeah.
Wow, look at him, man. He is... You can tell, like, he's nervous, but it's also, like, the realization that it's literally right in front of him. Like, everything he's been working for forever, right in front of him. He has one game to become the champion. And you can tell he's inexperienced. He doesn't have a ton of experience on the main stage. He's a little emotional. He's lets the stress and emotions overcome him sometimes.
Soma.
I can't stop looking at you, man, with that mustache. You look like you own a haunted carnival.
Man, he's really anxious.
Let's see who the real villain is. Artosis! Yeah. And I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you kids and your rotten dog.
That sounds
He
like
can sense it right in front of
I
him.
would have got away with it if it wasn't for your kids and your DTs. If it wasn't for your DTs and arbiters.
for you young people playing all these races against me.
You're a human, play the human race, come on. Optimizer here for game 7. Now again, there's 2 gases in the main. Oh, we're actually going to start this. All right, just talk about that in a second. Let's go! The final game! Soma versus Queen! What will become the champion? Let's do this.
게임 준비 완료. 옵티마이저에서 게임을 시작합니다.
Here we go. Let's go.
Artosis is messing with me. I'm trying to get you to pass me my water. I'm trying to get Artosis to pass me the water, and he's like just handing me empty cups. He's just acting like he doesn't know.
All right. Oh my god. Okay, so we have Soma in the bottom right. We have Queen in the top right. Kind of cool.
So
this isn't a rotationally symmetric map, so it's just kind of like even where they spawn, wherever it is.
Yeah, let's talk about the 2 gases. So, obviously, gas is by far the most important resource in this matchup, and I would say there's no matchup that is even comparable to where gas is, like, just so invaluable.
Yeah, it's the end-all.
Now, you can win Zerg vs. Zerg games before Mutalisks are out. I mean, we've already seen that today. I mean, Zergling rushes are very powerful, and they actually only work because the other player might be trying to get Mutalisks too fast. Important to note there. But
it's like Queen's going for a 9
pool.
pool.
You have 2 gases in the main.
Yep.
Whenever there's a StarCraft tournament going on, you know, we have your run-of-the-mill maps, like Neo Sylphid is a map where, like, okay, anybody can play on this. But then occasionally we'll experiment with maps where we're like, okay, let's put 2 gases here just to see. Does this make the game better? Does this enhance a matchup? Does it break a certain matchup?
Yeah.
And I just wonder, could you get enough drones here? Because most of the time, guys, in ZVZ, when you see them expand,
it's to get another gas.
Yeah, they a lot of times don't even have drones.
Looks like Soma went for overpool.
Now, of course, you do oftentimes need a second hatchery just for the larva to make the Mutalisks.
He's chewing on his mask.
I don't know. And
you can tell he's nervous.
Artosis is Terra 9 Protoss.
Queen is like,
we're not totally sure, but let's see
in
if something
veins.
revolutionary happens here.
Yeah. One thing I want to mention, we had a 9 pool from Queen, whereas Soma went over pool, so that's just a slight advantage towards Soma. It's not a gigantic deal, but it is something. And we saw a little bit of lag in this game, so I think there is some sort of network thing going on here.
Well, you know, the graphics in StarCraft 1 are, you know, very demanding, and sometimes if you don't have the right graphics card...
Maybe if we just have the players hit the F5 key so we can play with the old crappy graphics.
Play on the old graphics.
It's like, do we really want to overclock our tournament PCs? Because it needs to look more real? Yeah. So, I don't... Whose computer was replaced earlier? Was it Queen's?
Well, they just did a restart, but I believe Queen had the issue in the previous game, and now Soma is having an issue.
Now Soma has it. That's not good.
We can pass it down.
That's what happens when you go to a venue that you haven't been to all year.
Yeah, you started not being fun and hating kids too. I don't get it. Yeah. Now, I think with the mustache, if you weren't
Get
in
these
this
small
suit,
issues.
I would love to see you in a wife beater outside of a trailer. Because I think we have like trashy Artosis, you know?
A wife beater outside a trailer.
You have like a tattoo of a snake like right here.
I could totally see that with that mustache.
Excuse me. I do think that this map should tend towards staying on 1 base until after Mutalisks because you do have the double gas. Because yeah, like you said, there's enough.
I agree. I think it'll be 1 base probably.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I think that is something that we should end up seeing like that. As far as who's going to win at this point, if Soma takes this, how much regret can one human feel? How much?
Well,
we're gonna
Yeah,
measure
that's
a lot.
true.
If Soma wins, we literally get to measure it.
I feel like if Soma wins this, we can just take Queen's reaction and then change the background like he's in court and he's being sentenced to life.
Yeah,
you know what
for
I mean?
one dumb thing he
Yeah,
did.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like he's in a
Yeah,
he's like a dictatorship,
if
he sits on a picture
Queen
of Queen,
loses
he's like,
this,
Yes, exactly.
yeah, that's
it's going to be
the we're gonna feel.
regretting that hatchery.
So I have to get a
Like,
tattoo of that hatchery, so he never forgets.
Oh, really? It's like a reminder
people
tattoo?
get the tattoos and they're like, I get this to remind me.
They
of
should
this.
go in
Yeah.
and both get the tattoo,
a
except Soma gets it
reminder
on his butt.
tattoo.
That's true. That's
So
true.
he sits every time on
But
that.
actually, like,
so easy.
really,
It
like,
is
if
true.
he
If really
loses
tried to
this,
style on him, it would have been
I
one of
mean,
the most
if
memorable.
your average, like, Joe Schmo or whatever playing a game, you have a big, when you get to the final stage like that, and you have this big error, and it just, like, completely snowballs. How do you overcome that mentally, actually? I know these guys have experience with that type of stuff, and I don't know, perhaps even some of them, like, have sports psychologists or whatever, but I don't know, that's... How do you not, like, how's that not in the back of your mind, you know?
StarCraft finals, as far as a victory goes, ever, where Queen would have absolutely dominated, completely backfired. We're here in a nail biter to make things even more dramatic. The computer's being swapped out. Adrenaline has to be pumping right now for Soma.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Soma won a. That was the
Yeah,
longest
actually, I was wondering about that. I wonder if
Yeah.
where upgrades actually became a factor.
Yeah, I think you're right that was the longest. This is just
So
ridiculous.
wonder if
that
the
does
downtime is
prove that
actually
Soma
helpful
actually
for
was dominating.
Soma.
We've had plenty of hard counter builds here, where one guy's just like, "Oops, my pool's not done in time."
It will give him like time
that was
to
last
calm
game as well.
down, or maybe
Based on how they've both been playing, I still feel like Queen might be favored here. especially
maybe
with
he
the
just
pressure
like
going on.
wants to get it
Soma,
over
like, this is
with.
the moment for him, right? He's always been aiming for a championship. Here he is. He's literally. In
I
the game
wonder
every game.
which
Well, he eliminated Flash too. I know it's Flash is random, but he
Which
did
is,
eliminate Flash. Like,
better
there
for
are
him
rumors that
to
Flash
have
may
the
go for
break or
Eric.
not to have the
Yes,
break.
like he
Definitely
knows
no
it's very
rumors
hype that
right
he might win random, but he also likes winning. He likes money. There's money on the line in these tournaments.
Sure.
You know?
And
I
get
could
the-
see
as
him
well,
switching back to
probably
random,
Some portion of his fan base really wants to
or
see him return.
Terran. I mean,
Those people are garbage.
like to see him stay
You're like,
random
you're
though,
like,
but
Flash help me. No, man,
Flash,
you
help
gotta
me.
want Flash to go random.
Flash, I want to see Terran games. They're gonna be.
Gotta go random. But I get it. I respect it if he doesn't want to do it. He can do whatever
Yeah,
he wants. It wouldn't be
I
the most epic
agree.
ever if he wanted to random. He got very far.
Yeah, that would be crazy. But that would also like I feel like it would either over-legitimize him or under-legitimize everyone else.
Over-legitimize him?
Yes. Where it's like, okay, this is really getting stupid that you're just smarter than everyone.
Well, I
that
think
much.
the people that don't know StarCraft on here, there's one guy that wins the tournament playing random. It sounds like everybody else is so bad, even though that's not true.
Yeah.
But it's
If you ever stood behind one of these guys and watched him play, you'd be like, oh, you're better than everyone at everything in the whole world.
yeah. No, it's kind of crazy.
It's like, seriously, if you stand behind Queen watching him play some of his games,
Yeah.
Like a big macro, ZVT or something, or ZVT, you'd watch him play and you'd be like, oh, okay. And then you like open up your briefcase and you press a button and the space station full of astronauts just crashes in here because you're like, well, there's no point anymore. Like we thought that astronauts had a hard job and they were good at it, but like, I mean, I stood behind Queen and watched him win a ZVT and it was just. It's like as they're crashing down, like you send them the video, they're like, "Oh yeah, no, you're right."
Yeah.
They open airlocks and jump out.
Even there's this thing with astronauts, you'll have with some pilots too, where they don't have any personality, and that's probably
Right,
why they don't
well,
in space. They don't freak out. They don't get stressed out. Think of every
looks
interview
like
with an
there's
astronaut
a
you've ever
big
seen. And it's like these are
gap,
people
so
that
let's
are
go
people
ahead
that
and
are hard
skip
to not
this.
Flip out when they're
Oh,
in
that's true,
space.
yeah,
They're
they're
like on the
unfathomably brave.
yeah, where you can just like no, I think they just
Like,
can't
there's
get
no out there.
yeah, they're just like on the edge of a spaceship, like hanging on.
Okay, so Soma lost the first two games. They traded 3 and 4, and then Soma won the last two. So Optimizer, last game for all the marbles. It's the last game of the year for StarCraft 1. Last game of the year. Season 10 finale. Can someone pull the upset, or will Queen be a 2-time champion? Let's find out.
What's up, everybody? We're back, and I hope these computers are working because we're in the final game of Queen versus Soma. The winner will become the ASL champion. We rarely ever go to a game 7, but here we are.
It's true.
The drama could not be higher with a PC problem. It looks like it was Soma's PC. This is, of course, a new studio that we're broadcasting out of, but I believe they probably got the PC replaced. I have not been notified yet, but hopefully the issue's been resolved.
Hopefully. Well, I want to see what we're gonna be getting out of
You
these guys.
cannot have a laggy PC in a ZVZ Mutified.
We switched
Yeah,
to both
definitely
systems.
not.
So that's serious.
So
Yeah, they switched out
we will not
both,
resume the match.
so
We'll restart.
Yeah, that
that's
is-
I've also been
good.
told they're playing on Nintendo
Hopefully
64.
there won't be any issues, but
Zerg is the most powerful on Nintendo 64,
Is it?
actually.
I've never played the N64 StarCraft.
Yeah, I have. It's
better than
and
PC, right?
64
It's way better that way,
StarCraft
but
is
there's really few things
awful.
about it 'cause it's like
I don't know
awesome.
how,
I
like
tried
it just
to
doesn't
play Ultra
translate
Rare,
well.
like kiting with Vulture.
Yeah.
It's a
It doesn't
cool
work. So
little
it's like kind of all
gimmick
about
game.
moving and how many units you can select and how easy is a macro. So Zerg
But-
just like
Do you still select 12 units at a time?
I believe it's 15.
Oh, that's
Inferior as
No,
hell.
it's a little bit higher. It's a
I
little
don't know
higher.
why
That's so funny.
anyone
And
would
there's a
play
lot of
that.
weird things, but like you can actually get pretty fast. The keys are there's a lot of program keys that it doesn't even tell you in the game. I had people who actually used to play it telling me, and it was like
I was
it's weird.
When I was 15, I worked in a grocery store as a bagger, and one of the other baggers I found out was into StarCraft, and so we would talk. We would be like at the cashiers, or cashiers would be next to each other. We'd be talking a lot, and he'd always be asking me questions like, "How do I do this?" And then like 3 months into knowing this guy, I discovered that he actually was playing on Nintendo 64, and I'm like, "Oh, you, what? You?" And he's like, "It's on PC," and I'm like, "You can get it on PC?" And then he got it. He's like, "It's not as good."
It's
Could not
not
love
as
for very
good.
No, that would
Wow.
be about that.
The friendship ended there.
That's when Tastosis applied.
That's that.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Can you imagine thinking that that's better? That
It's
garbage.
not hard to. If you've read any internet forum ever, you're like, oh, there's every possible wrong opinion is there.
That's true. Yeah. I always feel like most of it's going. I'm like, no one can think this.
Sometimes it is, but then you'll meet one of these people, and
Yeah.
well, we have this every once in a while. Someone will start talking to us about StarCraft, and it's like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Yeah. I try to be polite though when we're on air.
Oh, we're always like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, no one can stop ultras, whatever that means. Okay. Yeah.
Well, now you just bring up things I've said to you.
Then I just get my Batman Skyhook and shoot out of there. I can't talk to you anymore. Okay, so we're back.
Oh my
And
God.
I hope we are ready.
All right, we're back.
Queen has 2 others. Soma has 1.
That's
Queen's
not
ready
fair.
for a long game.
He's going to be more hydrated.
Look at Soma. He looks a lot
Maybe
more
Soma's
calm
body can
now.
have 1 bottle of water better. Maybe Queen will drink 2 bottles of water, he'll have to pee, and they can't. He
oh
can't
my
concentrate,
gosh.
he loses the late game.
Don't worry, he has an empty cup right there.
That's true.
Now, this delay, if I had to guess, should have helped Soma some. I don't think Queen has nerves
Yeah,
at this point. He's
yeah.
been a pro gamer for so long. This is Soma's 3rd professional tournament. He's in the finals. It's Game 7. He was wiggly before we started, before it lagged. He's sitting still as can be right now. I think he's calmed down. Tastosis.
It's
Think
enough
good.
time.
He
Yeah,
did
enough
calm
playoff
down.
energy with the staff trying to get this thing fixed. Yeah. Then maybe he's in the zone now. We're going to find out, guys. This is the final game on Optimizer to decide who will be the ASL Season 10 champion.
Fucking go. I'm excited as hell about this. Let's go, baby.
옵티마이저에서
Hoping Soma can pull it off, but it's gonna be tough. Whoever wins is gonna be well deserved, honestly. Yeah, because they have to start from a full
In the top
replay,
right,
they
we
have different
Soma-
spawns
bottom right,
now,
sorry. We
so
have
it's
Soma.
cross spawns.
And in the top left, we have Queen. So similar. Well, actually, it doesn't matter because this is not rotationally symmetric. They're cross spawns, whatever. It's all even. The one thing to mention, what you were talking about, where you can leave the game and see the score. They would have been able to see each other's scores.
It's
This is
true.
a modern map, so all the patches are going to mine pretty well. So
I don't
they
think
might
it's
have
gonna
been able to
matter as
glance at
much,
that
though.
score and say, oh, this is a 9.
Especially for a cross map spawn.
That is what I was wondering. We were
Yes.
talking about that for a little bit here before the game started. Like,
I think Queen went,
will
what, 9
they be
pool,
able
and
to
Soma went
read on
over
that?
pool, right?
I don't think it's going to be too impactful.
Wonder if they
honestly.
just
And
do the same
frankly,
thing.
When we do have to restart a game, it's better it happens in the first minute. There's nothing worse than when things are actually beginning to take
Yeah, Soma's
place.
doing
You know,
an
when
Overlord
events are
first.
happening,
Maybe 2 minutes-ish in that we restarted, right?
I
We
think
chose
it was.
Okay,
maybe
Queen's
a little
doing
bit earlier
9
than
pool.
It was after Overpool started, so it was somewhere coming up. Queen once again goes to the 9 pool.
Soma doing a slightly
And that's
late
an
over
So
pool.
they're keeping the exact same builds.
Yeah. Now this is pool and gas. And
By the way,
yeah.
I can't imagine it would make a difference, but I do want to say, like, I guess it could make a difference slightly. The top gas mines quicker, so you're always taking the top gas quicker.
Yeah,
Right? So, like, Queen's gas is going to be further from Soma. Soma's in between Queen and his base.
Right, so
just,
Queen's gas
if
will
you're, like,
be
attack moving in with Lings or something that might draw fire or
further
something like that.
away from the
guess-
attack,
I don't think anything will come out of that, but it's just something.
whereas Soma's will be
Now, we were
closer
mentioning
to
earlier
Queen,
that
where he attacks.
you know, the big feature that makes ZVZ really interesting for us on this map is the fact that you have a second gas in your main. A lot of times when you'll see a player take an expansion in ZVZ, you can notice that they're not even mining with drones on the minerals at the expansion. A lot of times they're just mining the gas. So what happens if you just get a second gas in your main? It seems like one basing would be incredibly powerful.
Yes.
But I do
Absolutely.
want to point out, if you one base, one sunken colony cannot protect both gases.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that. Yeah, Lings would be able to hit the outside of the sunken
Yeah.
gas that the
Okay,
sunken
they're about to
was on.
find out where each other are.
So
Because you have to choose one side for the sunken to be on, yeah. You would
again,
always have an area that the Lings could hit.
I do not know if that's
And
going to
the
be a
Zerglings
factor.
are
I just
changing
want to
course.
put some of these ideas out in case they do become something that's going to really mold the way the game is going here.
He needs to keep
Now,
that
Queen
alive.
is going to take the initiative and push out here. Now, this is actually a pretty easy area to defend with Lings. Not as easy as if you had like a very tiny ramp that went up, but it's not bad. Now, who's going to get Ling speed first here? Because if
They both went.
Both went lair.
first. It looks like Queen is getting Ling speed though.
yeah, we know that because of the lack of gas here.
Yeah, their gas
Soma
should be closer.
appears, and it would make sense. Soma looks like he skipped that for now.
I think Soma
Oh,
just
actually,
got
Queen
a Spire.
did take one drone off gas after or right before the layer started. So
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know when he added that back on, so I'm not 100% sure actually if he's getting speed or not. Actually, that looked like it was quick. All right, second hatchery coming up for Soma. I think we'll see that for Queen as well.
Yeah, Soma seems like he's
Yep, hatchery in the
I
main.
mean, just slightly
Interesting.
in
I
better
think
shape
that's
here.
probably the better way to do it on this map.
Well, okay, so Spire is almost halfway done here for Queen. Where is it at for Soma?
It's very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about
But
10
Soma's
seconds
gonna have
ahead
an
on the
extra
Spire.
hatchery. Now, nobody's taken the second. Now, this surprises me. Okay.
Ooh, really?
Queen is going to make his hatchery over here at the natural.
Yeah, that is
surprising.
That is because you don't need to take that.
Alright, so Soma is taking his hatchery inside his main base, and he's getting a lot faster, which means he's going to have more larva production early on. Meanwhile, Queen is taking it in the harder to defend natural, but which gives him access to a third gas. So it's very interesting.
That gas. So that's like
I kind of like Soma's position
it's almost
better.
Like, well, it's also just more to defend,
how he's set up.
right?
Right.
It's considering ZVZ, and by the way,
Easier
ZVZ
to
is like
defend
the closest
for
thing to
Soma.
a fighting game, really, because there's macro's not really
Safer,
a thing.
I guess,
like,
is
you
the
can
best
have
way to put
a
it.
D or even F rank player,
And he's
macro
gonna have
in the
his
ZVZ
stuff
pretty
out
much the same
faster.
as a pro.
Gonna have more larva faster,
just
gonna have a
cranking
faster
out,
Spire.
Mutas and Lings. It's really all about how you engage each other
And
then
an
the
easier
mind
to
games there.
defend
It's a
base.
very unique thing about this matchup compared to all the other StarCraft matchups 1 and 2. So, you know, if you have your Mutas or Lings get into a good position, even for 2 or 3 seconds, you can kill off enough drones that might lead to a win. So, I'm a little bit surprised Queen is taking a natural here.
Yeah, a little bit.
But let's see what happens.
Well, I think that
Queen doesn't have his second gas yet either.
Taking this natural is
taking
that
the
he
gas
had
at the
most more
natural.
aggressive build, and so he should have map control in this game,
Yeah.
right? So I guess in that case, yeah, you can have that natural. It just
Soma
seems
has
so much
gonna
harder
have
to
more
defend if
gas
he
too.
ends
He's
up,
had a second gas
losing
for
control of
longer.
the game at all. But playing on that knife's edge is an important thing in ZVZ.
Okay, more and more Mutalisks are going to be amassed here. There's the second gas now.
Dude, this just looks good for Soma, in my opinion.
I just like
Yeah,
this
I
more for
agree.
Soma. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, this is a Terran and a Protoss casting this, but this makes a lot of sense to me.
Right, yeah,
Well,
I
it's just,
agree.
it feels so safe for him.
Yeah.
He's perfectly well defended. He has his second hatchery a little bit quicker here as well.
You know, one thing about being in cross spawns here is neither side is particularly comfortable going too far out because you can get counterattacked.
Oh, he
and
saw
just
the...
die. So they use Scourge to
Saw the
scout
natural.
a lot of times. Because if the Scourge can catch a lone Muta, that's fine, but they're much more expendable. And then the Mutalisks can stay back and defend here. Now, Queen, it looks like he's interested. We'll see. We'll know if he really wants to attack if more Scourge come out here.
Well, I have an idea as well here, Tastosis. What if, because he took that natural...
Nice.
Oh, nice connection there. Because he took that natural, he could add a third gas and go mass Scourge at some point, right? I don't know how
actually
that
very
timing works out
interesting.
perfectly. If you have enough larva for that.
Oh, that's an interesting
I
point,
wonder
Artos.
if
I had
that's-
not actually
Yeah,
thought about
if you
I was so
got
caught
a
up
third
in getting
gas,
the
you
quick
could get a
second
lot
gas,
of
but I suppose
Scourge.
if he has enough drones, he could get a third gas, and maybe there's some kind of...
Well, he doesn't even need to be mining minerals if he's going pure Scourge, but
Yeah.
you might actually mine more than you can even spend at that point. I don't know the exact rates of that.
So I would have to imagine that Soma's getting armor here. He doesn't have it
feels
yet,
like
but
it.
did he just... Oh, he killed one of his own Lings here to free
Yeah,
up supply.
free up supply.
Overlord slightly late. Now, there's 2 drones mining minerals at Queen's natural. But that's
Interesting.
funny. What's the idea there?
Well, he supply blocked him.
I guess he takes that out. He supply blocks him for a little bit. Can Soma bounce
What's the
back
point of
after
that if you're not
Again,
pushing immediately?
Soma can't get a third gas. Queen
Like, that's
can,
actually a
so
good thing to
Scourge
do.
have less value for him.
But I
Right, exactly,
wonder,
Artosis.
is that enough? Because he's not taking the third gas
He's gonna
yet.
get a
Well, he's
third
been sitting
gas,
on
so he's
42
gonna have more
supply
Scourge,
for
so
a
he can
really
trade
long
them for Overlords.
Yeah.
But he's also...
Maybe that was a valuable move.
You want to supply block them when you're on the attack,
Again, these-
so that
these
they
guys are
can't
gonna know- but keep in mind,
reinforce.
guys, unlike StarCraft 2, you can't
He's
just have endless larvae.
Still on his side of the map.
Yeah.
It stops at 3, and it's one of the weird macro features. It's really only a factor in ZVZ, where it's like, I guess if you can force him to be parked on 3 larvae, maybe that hiccups production in the long run?
Soma got +1 attack.
Did he?
Oh, did he? I didn't
Yes, he
see
did.
that.
Yes,
oh,
he did.
wow. Okay.
Wow.
Very unusual. Now, again, plus
Yeah,
one
you
attack
don't
is slightly
often
cheaper,
get
but,
attack. I guess maybe it helps
inferior
against
to
the
armor
Scourge
upgrade
as
if
well.
The Mutas have to actually sit and duke it out.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind,
But so much better than no upgrade.
Right, absolutely. Well, if they don't have it, then your mutas are better than theirs, right? And now the Scourge are going to come into play. And this is going to be
go
the
for a
first moment
timing
where we're going to
attack?
see if Soma can really win on the offense. Good kill there.
Nice job.
This one definitely
Now the
helping
Scourge forced the mutas to micro back. Now if you're a pro gamer, you can absolutely shoot down Scourge before they hit you,
Uh-oh,
but you
here
have to control
comes.
perfectly. But it gets a lot harder when there's this
Comes
many
the
units
fight.
in play here.
out. Ooh, good micro there from Queen so far. Soma showing some good skills here as well, getting a few good volleys off. Seems like Queen just slightly out-microing Soma so far.
Just a little bit.
Okay, he's coming through here. Some Scourge connecting on other Scourge. I don't think the Queen has an armor.
That's a lot
plate
of
yet.
Scourge.
Oh, that was really good for Queen.
Ooh,
Queen
good
getting
job,
on top
Soma.
of him right now with some of these Scourge, pushing him back.
Oh, Soma
That was
lost
a lot
one
of
muta.
Scourge connecting on mutas.
Yes, it was.
But Soma's
Oh,
not
it was
done.
only one.
3 more mutas inbound as well as Scourge. No
Only connected on
upgrades yet
one
for
muta.
Queen. Now again, if they get the armor
Soma did a
upgrade,
really
it
good
always
job
comes out
there of
later in
counter
the attack
micro
because
against the
it's
Scourge.
cheaper. And Soma, we just saw the observer point out that his gas is now dropped to 0.
Yeah, he is. He must
so I
be
would
getting the
imagine
other
this is an
upgrade.
ample moment to try to attack in here. He can try
Must
to
be
kill off
going
one
for
Overlord.
armor.
It does not supply. Oh, I'm sorry. It does supply block Soma.
You're right. Queen right now having a bit
Snipe
of a hard
on the
time
Overlord.
with that. More Scourge coming out.
Oh!
Queen microing for his life.
Scourge did connect and killed a
Don't
muta
forget, we're
there.
closer to Queen's hatches, so he does reinforce slightly quicker, even
he
though it
needs
seems
to.
like Soma might have a slight edge.
Yeah, he's now grabbed the rest of the mutas out here. Scourge are coming.
Some
And
crazy micro on both sides here.
It is up. There's no upgrade done here for Queen. Now, we don't even know if Queen got the upgrade. There are builds you do where you don't get it, but I
Yeah,
don't think Queen did anything that seems fancy enough that, you know, he would have had something to replace an armor upgrade with, right? The third gas is still not taken here. 1-1 is done.
Ooh, good
Oh
snipe
my
on
God,
the
that
Scourge.
is a huge moment right there for Soma.
Oh my
Does
God, he
Queen
is
have an
1-1.
upgrade? I'm not so sure. He's microing very well. He's picking off a lot of Scourge here.
Now, as
Job,
long
good
as he
job.
gets rid of the Scourge, the mutas
Ooh,
are
Ling's
better
got
here.
into Queen's
But
space.
Queen now can start to moving shot this. Is this going to be enough? It's all going to come down to these upgrades here.
Is it
Oh my
enough?
God, does
It
Soma
looks
have
like
enough
Queen
to
has
actually
more.
upset Queen. Queen starting to push him back. More Scourge coming in
Oh,
as
no.
well. Soma down to just 3 mutas here. Queen definitely with the advantage.
More. Oh my God!
Oh my
He missed
God, he
something
killed all the
important.
drones.
I think that Lings might have got in there and killed all
Yeah,
the drones.
I saw the
Certainly
Lings go
looks
in.
that way.
That seems like it's going to be a moment where
Oh my
absolutely,
God, he has
even
like
though they're
7
slow
drones, dude.
you know, Soma has room to try to catch up here.
Queen only has
Queen
like
trying
7
to clean up
drones
the
right
rest
now.
Of these Lings right now. Queen does
a lot
seem
of
to have
mutas,
the
though.
mutalisk advantage, but
Yeah,
how
a
many
lot of
drones do we
mutas.
have left over? It looks like he saved some to the natural.
Now, if he can bring the mutas back, oh, I'm so sad we missed that moment there.
Yeah.
We'll probably be able to catch it after the game here, but
Hit Queen's
how many
economy.
drones is Queen on? I see 3 mining gas in the natural,
Hit
2
that.
mining minerals in the main. Or in
It's
the
going up
natural,
so
I'm sorry. And then
slowly.
what's in the main?
It looks like there's
I think
2
he only has
on
7.
minerals is what I'm looking at, Tasteless.
Yeah, on the
there's-
mini-map,
So
at
he
least.
has 4 drones mining minerals, which probably means only Scourge from here on, which would make sense, honestly, if
Ooh,
you're on
I don't
0-0
know about
against
this.
1-1.
Yeah, once your drone count.
I don't know about this. I think this is correct to get another base right here while you have such an advantage, but I just worry that it's going to be hard to defend. Because Soma is light on Mutalisk.
count gets low enough, it's almost impossible to climb out of that hole.
Yeah.
2 drones.
Oh God, he
my
just
God.
has no economy. So this should be Queen going all in.
Yeah, I agree. I think Queen's going to go all in here. I think as Soma, you need to get like some defense. You're up so much. I think it would be wise if you just made an Evo here and made like a spore colony.
From here.
Yeah, Queen can't try to just play catch
Because
up
that
here. He's
base is
already
going to be
too
hard
far
to
behind.
defend.
And so here we go.
The mutas are all up at the top
Oh my God, he has so many Scourge, dude. A ton of
of
Scourge.
the map for Soma. Right?
He's
Are
gonna
those
go-
mutas or are those Lings?
is he
Oh,
going
they're
for a
Lings.
counterattack?
Slow Lings.
Yeah, they're coming around the side.
He has such an
They're gonna come
economic
back in,
advantage.
And by the way, there's one sunken
Oh
colony.
my God,
being
he's
made,
going
but
for.
Queen
He's trying
is
to
going
kill
all
all
in
the
with his
drones
muta
right
attack.
now.
This
All
is
right.
gonna, is he going to be ready?
Oh my God,
This
no.
might be too much. Queen might be able to
That's
take
a
this
ton
here.
of Scourge.
Oh my God, that is a ton of Scourge. He's trying to get the damage on while the Scourge are chasing him. Soma has to microwave from these Scourge. He's kiting his
He has
best
to get
he can,
away.
but there are so many mutas here for
No.
Queen, and it looks like he's going to break
No,
him.
no,
There's
no,
barely
no,
any
no.
drones mining. It looks like
He
the Lings
lost
will be
so
able to take
many
out Hatchery,
mutas
but
there.
there's nothing to defend over here in the main.
Okay, you got one. Oh, that's too many.
He can be stopped.
Yeah, there's a few
So
Scourge
many
left over
mutas,
for
he's gonna
Soma.
lose
He's
all
trying to
his
hunt him down,
drones.
but Queen, his micro too strong here, bringing in his own Scourge as well. The counterattack
Oh,
coming up from
no.
Soma, going across the map.
He's going to try to come in here if he can. Can he
Can't
possibly
win a
snipe
base
these
trade.
mutas from
He's not
behind?
going to be fast enough.
Oh, I think there's
Nothing
no
left
way to.
over.
Oh,
I think
no,
Queen might have won this
dude.
game. One muta on the map.
How?
And if it gets hit, it will
How
just barely
could-
be, I think, not killed off. It's going to get 1
How
HP
did
there.
Soma lose
but
this?
This is it. This is too much damage.
It is too much.
And there's a Sunken Colony back in the
No.
main here for Queen.
There's nothing
Oh
left
my
here
God,
for
I
Soma.
feel
He's
sick.
at 6 supply, and that's going to be
Feel
it.
sick for
He's going
Soma.
to type GG, and that makes Queen
Oh my
a two-time
God, dude,
ASL champion.
How did
That
Queen
was
win
incredible.
that?
He won being behind in 2 upgrades, but had enough
Yeah,
Scourge
he
and
won
controlled
being
well
behind
enough
2
that
upgrades on
Soma was
mutas.
not able to take that upgrade lead, define a lot of
Oh,
CDC
man.
theater right there.
I tell
Poor
you, it was
Soma.
just beautifully executed.
He had
from
that.
Queen,
All
right?
he had to do
Scourge
was
deals so much
defend.
damage, you must
Think. Oh man. All he had to do was defend. That's what I was saying about that taking that expansion. It just felt like Queen had so many Muta and Scourge that it's okay to take that. Like, it makes sense. When you're ahead, get more ahead, but you have to be able to defend it. And he just had so many Mutas and Scourge that Soma didn't have enough, right? He just didn't have enough Mutas. So when you're taking that, you have to, when you take it, you have to be sure that you can defend, right? So that's why I disagreed with him taking that at that moment, was because he was at such a numbers disadvantage with the Mutalisk. I think if he just made an evolution chamber and a couple spore colonies, he would have been a lot better off. Cannot believe he lost that. He snuck in and killed almost so many of Queen's drones, man. Queen had like no economy, and when your opponent has no economy, all you have to do is defend and hang on, and eventually you're just gonna win. Queen read that perfectly. Like, he read that situation perfectly, where he just knew that, well, I have more, so I just have to attack. That third gas mattered a lot, because he had a lot of gas for Scourge. Even though his drones died, still had enough gas to just pass up Scourge. And when you're moving like that, when a player is attacking you with Mutas and Scourge, you let the Scourge connect, you just lose, right? So when you're microing against that, you have to attack the Scourge. It means the glaives do less damage to the Mutalisk. So the longer the fight goes on that you're attacking Scourge, the less damage you're doing to the Mutas, and you're just going to lose over time. Which is exactly what happened there. Queen just had way too many Scourge. It acted like a big shield for him, right? A big armored shield.
must run for them. You must kite them. And while that's happening, he's moving, shotting the mutas the entire time. He's dealing so much damage to them. Who cares about upgrades when you have that many Scourge?
Yeah, so again, when the Scourge are chasing you, a pro gamer can always gun down.
Oh, he's showing his badge.
But if your mutas are hitting theirs while they're trying to hit your Scourge, that's when you negate the upgrade advantage. That's exactly what we saw there from Queen. That was a really...
Yeah, exactly. He was down on attack and an armor upgrade and still won. Why? Because he had Scourge. Because he had to force Soma to take use his attack move inefficiently by hitting Scourge instead of the mutas.
great TDC, a really fun way to end the series.
You basically
Honestly,
just
one of the best
negated
finals we've
the
had. Why?
upgrades
It was fantastic.
several fold.
Queen, champion once again.
ASL Season 10 champion is Queen. You're the two-time champion, Queen, both ASL in 2020.
Wow.
Your CDC has so many variables.
I gotta say, I don't normally get like overly excited about matches, but holy shit, man. Those last two games, I was just on the edge of my seat. That was so close. Those are such good matches. I don't know, it's just incredible how good these guys are. A wonderful game. Wow, well done. I have to say, I'm heartbroken for Soma. I really wanted him to pull that off, especially when he came back from 3-1 down, but gotta hand it to Queen. He's the best at that matchup right now. He's the best Zerg in the world, and And what a tournament from him. Even like game 4 in particular, when he defended, his control is just so good, man. Really, congrats to him. He deserves this.
But you managed to do it. You won 2 consecutive ASLs. What a tough series that was, Queen. So many critical moments in that game. But you did it. You won. You are the champion. How are you feeling?
처음에 좀 쉽게 갈 줄 알았는데 생각보다 잘안 풀려가지고
Today went smoothly for me.
더 이끌고 갈게요.
At least for the first half. But I felt a little bit. I was worried I was going to lose.
Yeah, can you imagine if you lost after doing that
Those were very tough games for you. Soma certainly was not
cheesy hatchery in game 5?
What is it like to be the 2-time ASL champion?
너무 기뻐요. 솔직히
Well, I didn't expect we were ever going to go to game 7.
자만했다는 소리를 듣겠구나.
I also feel like there was a game where I just should not have
I think
lost.
he's
And I thought, oh man, I think I got
right. He's only the second ever player to repeat. Flash being the other one, right?
Who will be challenging you? You had so much support, so many fans. Any words you want to say to anybody?
우승할 줄은 저번 시즌 시작하기 전까지만 해도 아무도 모르셨을 텐데 이렇게 2회 우승을 하게 되니까 너무 기쁘고
Nobody expected me to win 2 consecutive championships, and that includes me. So I'm really grateful for everybody who supported me in the league. Thank you so much.
He's won 2 in a row.
You are the #1 Zerg in the ASL. History has been made here.
He is.
And now that you've done this twice, you could possibly become a 3rd in a row ASL champion. What are your thoughts on that?
그걸 넘어서 제 또 한계를
2 alone is enough for me to be proud of, but I would like to break that record if I could.
Could you imagine if you won 3? That'd be incredible.
Congratulations again, Queen. Now the award ceremony. Artosis.
Yes.
Everybody wins today.
Well, this was a great CBC. This was a really fun final.
I think you cast better with the mustache. There's something about it.
My words.
That was such a great game 7. Holy crap. Adrenaline was flowing the whole time.
Esports here at AfreecaTV. I think he's going to say some words.
And some words from the executives.
Mr. J. I think especially this season we had so many great games. I hope the fans are very entertained. Again, congratulations to Queen. It was really exciting to watch Flash as a random player as well. I'm sorry to everybody that we can't have fans on site.
It's true.
In the future, please keep supporting us at the ASL.
It feels so different without fans. The atmosphere is a lot worse without the fans.
He did it after 10 years. He's our runner-up.
Here he is. Oh man, I feel so bad for him. He was so close.
It's really great to see him doing better and better this season. He's definitely a contender for season 11.
You can tell he's crushed. He thought he had that. Thought he had the comeback. You saw him like freaking out, bouncing and jittering before the game, before they had to swap PCs. He just kind of got in the zone, and he almost had it, man. Like, played so well. He had the better build. He had the better timing. And he snuck the Lings in his base and killed all his drones. Like, all he needed to do there was in that fight at the top middle with all the mutas, all he needed to do there was trade evenly, or at least not significantly worse, and he would just cruise to a win. But he traded really badly. He lost a lot. Didn't kill very much. And because of that, Queen just had an overwhelming amount still left over in which to attack him, and he didn't have a ton of defense.
Congratulations.
We have $10 billion if there's only 7 million people on Earth.
$10 billion.
All right, well, I'm very happy for Soma. I really look forward to seeing him play in the future. And if he got this far, and he almost won, man.
He almost won. He got top 4, and then now he's runner-up. I'm really proud of him. He plays great. I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the future. Continuing to get better and better.
Yeah. I mean, that's really exciting. That's so cool. And, we got a new narrative here. I mean, whether Flash plays random or Terran. Let's not forget, guys, Flash did not win Season 9. He was Terran. Queen could actually win 3 times in a row.
Yeah, Queen beat Flash last year, or, in Season 9, when Flash was Terran, so now he's won again. I mean, that's a real statement.
Make him a banjo. The Zerg banjo. Wow. Yeah, another
Zerg banjo.
Yeah, but what about the Protoss banjos? Okay,
banjo.
This is the co-CEO.
So stupid.
Known as Choco.
How did you enjoy the finals? Every year, we normally host our finals at a big outdoor venue, and we love seeing people come down here and cheer.
Yeah.
So it's always a little bit sad that we don't have an audience.
It is sad. It is a lot different. I miss the fans. I miss the atmosphere.
Everybody who was involved in the ASL, production teams, the players, the fans, and everybody, I want to thank all of you. We're going to continue to bring great esports matches to you guys. All right, we're going to bring our champion out now, Queen, again also known as Zero. He's out.
It's so impressive that he's now won 2 in a row. It's,
It is. It's really impressive.
Yeah, so for the 10 seasons of ASL, Flash won 4 of them. And
That's
he's the
such
first
an
one to do the second
achievement.
one. There was like a preseason kind of thing that Effort won and then Effort did it in ASL, so maybe you want to count it as well. But 2 in a row is a big deal. Flash did win 3 in a row, and after that, it was like hugely anti-tier map. So I actually want Queen to win the next season, season 11. Yeah. So we get crazy anti-Zerg map. What does that look like? Just very close spawns.
You start out with no gas in the band.
No
gas in
gas.
the map, man.
Oh,
what do you do now?
It's just Marines and Zealots and Lings and Protoss wins every time. No one can stop the Zealots and Cannons onslaught. Guys, thank you again so much for joining us for the ASL. This is the last StarCraft 1 event that we're doing for the year.
Yeah, that's right.
Super Tournament will be announced
ASL,
eventually.
we have 2 ASLs a year, so yeah, we're going to have Super Tournament for GSL coming up. But other than that, for your StarCraft 1 professional Korean stuff, it's going to have to wait until next year for ASL Season 11.
And guys,
Yeah,
do let
that's
ASL know
sad.
that you appreciate the English cast for this. We're loving doing it, and
I'm gonna
I love
miss
capturing the
this.
history of
I'm
StarCraft
gonna
and seeing this game grow and develop.
Yeah,
hate
it's
the
amazing.
off season.
You know, it's like season 10
I end
here,
up missing
it's gonna be
watching
a
StarCraft a
milestone,
lot
I think, right?
Yeah.
And I hope that ASL continues to go
during
on
the
in
off
such a way
season.
like GSL does.
Sad.
How many GSLs have we had?
A million billion.
Yeah. See, I want to have that many so that the numbers don't even matter anymore. And then someone reminds me when we're on number 100.
Yeah.
Like, this is 100. I'm like, really? Already? They're like, Tastosis, you're about to die of old age.
Yeah,
Yes.
Tastosis, you're 70 and you have cancer. You're like, oh. So, yeah, guys, let AfreecaTV know you're loving watching this because we love doing it. And I'll tell you, man, the story gets better and better. I mean, RTS really does age like a fine wine.
Yes, it
The
does.
worst,
It gets
RTS
better.
are the first few because nobody knows what they're doing.
That's
Remember
right,
TS and GSL,
exactly.
where it was people one basing and trying to run up a Protoss's ramp while the Protoss would miss the force field and then lose the
Can you
game.
imagine?
The longer it goes on, the
Even though
more
people want
refined
to,
people get at their skill set, their micro
I mean, the strategies that we see nowadays.
strategies get planned out
evolved quite a
better.
bit at this point. And
Yeah.
it's fun in a very different way. I know that a lot of people miss some of the ways it was with Kespa teams and things, but now that we get to see everyone stream all the time,
I think it's
there's
better than
actually
streaming
more.
generation.
Yeah, I like the streaming as a
It's more
someone who
intimate,
plays.
yeah.
I like it. I like the streaminess of it because you get to actually watch everyone play all the time. If you're like, damn, I only saw Flash play 3 games this month. It's like, no, you can
You can literally watch him play all the
day.
games he plays.
Yeah, you watch everything.
It's the streamery.
Yeah,
It's the streaminess.
yeah, I like it.
And we'll be streaming on our channels as well, so do join us there. Hang out with us because there's going to be some downtime before the next ASL. We're entering the esports off-season. We have 1 super tournament, but there is a downtime period for all the esports in Korea.
Yeah,
League,
that's
PUBG.
true. It's just this time of
Yeah.
year. There's not a whole lot going on. Not sure exactly when stuff restarts.
It's because
but
Santa Claus has to bring us our toys.
I feel like he was bringing me beautiful games all year long, Faceless. The spirit is
That's
there.
true.
Thank you, Santa.
There were some really great games this year.
I don't know, guys.
Both
ASL was
tournaments
a lot of fun.
actually
Just
were
make it
really good.
to the old
9 and
StarCraft.
10, season 9 and 10.
It's awesome. Enjoy it so much.
Keep the stash. I really like the mustache. That's all the time we have, guys. Keep wearing a mask, guys. Wash your hands. We love you. Hopefully next time we see you, this pandemic will be beaten. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are, and we'll see you guys at the GSL
hopefully.
Super Tournament, which will be announced eventually. Bye-bye.
It'd be nice to have fans again. Oh, look at him. He's so happy. He really deserved it. He played excellent all tournament. He's just, his control is so good, it's unrivaled. It's hard to see anybody beating him in a ZVZ that stretches a large number of games. He's just so good at that matchup. Oh, they usually do like a hype video at the end, like an ASL hype video, so we're just gonna watch that real quick. Well done, Queen. Well deserved. Good job, man. There's the fans.
웃고 떠들던 날들 두 손을 잡아준 채로 너의 행복을 빌어주었던 사소한 기쁨 그게 우릴 채워줬고 설레임으로 잠들던 날들 누구나 다 할 수 있는 일이라 흔하다 생각하겠지만 Thinking about you 많은 사람 중 한 사람 내게 전부가 되었단 말을 이제 알아서 When thinking about you 흔하다고 생각했던 우리 모습이 너와 내 전부가 될 거야 Thinking about you 내게 꼭 들어맞는 한 사람 그 사람이 있단 말을 알 것 같아서 건축 흔하다고 생각했던 사랑 얘기가 이제 나의 전부야 사랑 중 한 사람 내게 전부가 되었단 말을 이제 알아서 난 핑킹 건축 흔하다고 생각했던 우리 모습이 너와 내 전부가 될 거야.
ASL 시즌 10 타임리스.
Wow. Normally the video is supposed to be kind of like a hype video. That was actually like very touching. I don't know, that was like more touching and emotional. Kind of like an in memoriam of all the seasons now that we've had season 10. I'm kind of at a loss for words, honestly, after that. That was, I guess, first thing that comes to mind is just, this is such a beautiful game, man. It really is. Just all the hard work, dedication, emotions, everything you go through to get to that point, compete at the highest level, and to come out as a champion. Just hard to fathom. Saw effort there, getting really emotional when he won season 6, and it's just beautiful. That's not even mentioning the actual game itself, which is just, StarCraft is such a great game. Just so allows people to express themselves, display their individual talent and genius, and it's just wonderful. Everything about it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say, really. Okay, congratulations to Queen, first of all. And what a great run by him. Season 9, he beat Flash in the round of 4 and then won the tournament against Light. And now he's won a second in a row. Flash. I mean, we started out this series, it was supposed to be like, it was Flash's quest. Flash's debut is random. Too easy to play Terran, so he has to play random. I thought he did quite well, all things considered, to finish 3rd. That was a really good job by him. Next season, what's going to happen? Is he going to switch back to Terran? Is he going to stay random? I kind of personally hope he stays random. But I wouldn't fault him. I could totally see him switching back. Larva made it really far this year. What's going to happen to like the rest of the top players? Light, who got ousted really early on, didn't make it out of the group. A top Terran player, what's going to happen with him next year? Some of the underperforming players like Snow, he didn't really do particularly well. He's basically the top Protoss in the world. And there's some others that can compete at the top level still as well. Soma. I'm super impressed with him. I'm really proud of how he played. He came up short today, but not by a whole lot. Could have gone either way. He got into a brilliant position by some really great play and decision making to get inside Queen's base, kill his drones. And all he had to do was defend better, take less damage on his mutas, keep them alive, and maybe even do some static D back home, and we'd be looking at a different champion. But games are like that, and Queen read that situation perfectly and counterattacked before Soma could have anything ready for him. So that's what separates the best players, is just those instincts, those split-second decisions that swing an entire game on its head. I was thinking about doing like a compilation video of best singular matches season. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not, but I don't know. I've just been really impressed with the play in general. The whole season was really high caliber, and that was the last season, and ASL never seems to disappoint. That video at the end, I think that recapped it perfectly. It's just a wonderful, wonderful game that can touch everybody. And may StarCraft live for a very long time. I don't really know or have anything else to say, I don't think, so I think we're just going to wrap it up. That's going to do it for Season 10. That's going to do it for the year 2020, StarCraft 1. It's going to do it for this series on this channel. As always, if you liked the video, go ahead and like the video. If you enjoyed the content on this channel, consider subscribing. And if you like or are on Twitch, go ahead and go over to my channel and drop me a follow. All that stuff helps me a little bit. I would very much appreciate it. But I think that's about all. So, not sure when I'll be making another one of these videos. It's gonna be a couple months at least till the new season starts up. So, till such a time as I see you again, I hope you all have a very wonderful off season and enjoy the holiday months. And may your time be filled with good fortune and lots of love, and hopefully StarCraft as well. But I'll see you around. Everyone, as always, thank you. Much love. Take care.